That's right.
What have we done?
That's right, Eric. You understand. You're the
no,
only
but
one
I'm
who
making-
understands me. You're the only one who understands me, Eric.
Oh shit.
Well, I'm sorry about
Oh,
that.
That's
shit.
cool.
Oh, shit.
Aw, shit.
I'm sorry for your condition.
It's just like, you're
I'm
the only one who
upset at
understands me. Oh, shit.
I'll never get to that zenith of D&D ever again.
Oh.
I'm fucking Phil the horse. Like, you're a weird horse. Oh,
You're a
fuck.
weird looking horse. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. The Phil the horse is the best character in all of Strahd, let's be honest.
Phil and Jerry are fucking champions, man.
Yeah.
If they're still alive.
They're definitely not two stupid horses.
They're definitely
don't-
not fucking too stupid.
If we don't escape from Castle Ravenloft and find those fucking horses still alive, I'm gonna be pissed.
Hey guys, welcome to the new Monday slot for Curse of Strahd
Curse of
RP.
Strahd. Welcome to what may be the final session. Today, Hadrick will be played by Fomal.
Wonderful, she's doing it.
Yeah.
Perfect
They
hatchback.
still wouldn't let me
rendition.
play
That,
any character.
that is so
Yeah,
Hadrick.
Emerald's
That was
still
so
not
Hadrick.
They're still not letting me play any of the characters. It's fine.
He wouldn't
I'll be
leave.
here.
Ashley will be played by Eric.
Oh, okay, cool.
Devin will be played by Deco.
Because I'm the only one who can play her better.
I'll be playing everybody else.
Including Gryer. Why can't we play Gryer?
Han!
Han!
He's gonna fucking die.
Han with the
Drax.
400 bits says, for Keanu and Evelyn. Keanu and Evelyn gonna get those two inspirations.
To the pile.
Thank you.
There you go, buddy. Oh, by the way, maybe something I should let you guys know of.
It's gonna
But-
be mad.
Specifically because of Aaron. I have specifically because of Aaron, the Pokemon game now has that's my phone. I don't know who this is, so I'm just gonna fuck off. Leave me alone. Go away. Anyway,
Congratulations. What a cruise.
but no, specifically because of Aaron, the Pokemon game now has the most number of unique fate cards. I have added two more. I have added two more. I have added two more fate cards.
Are you? Oh my god.
There is now a grand total of 17 fate cards, unique fate cards in the Pokemon campaign.
Dear God.
The more fake
Well,
cards.
know what you gotta do, guy.
So
Aaron
I
knows.
just thought I should let you guys know that, because whenever I went and looked at Aaron's page and I was just like, literally all he has to do is use his fate cards and he's done with all of them. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a couple more just to have some sort of randomness still in the game. So that was fixed and will forever be fixed. However, I forgot to I didn't get to do the updated sheets today, because some things happened that I didn't notice until today, because I was getting ready for the Mega Man game over the weekend, which is usually when I get ready for the Pokemon game. But a bunch of stuff exploded. As a result of potentially a race between the four characters here. Either that or it was this Voltorb over there in the shower.
I'm going to space.
I'm going to space.
I'm
Later,
going to the one
fuckers.
place untouched by the taint of capitalism.
I'm going to space. Oh,
And I have
God
my
damn it.
gun too, because, you know.
Obviously.
I never leave.
Might
home
have
without
to might have to shoot some aliens.
it. Yeah,
something,
man.
something Second
I just-
Amendment, something.
I'm just like imagining the character from Armageddon, like just looking over at you, like, why do you have a gun in space? God, I love that movie. Anyway, but yes,
You ever
so
just want to go to space and shoot a gun and just know that in like 10 billion years you're just gonna fucking smoke an alien?
Bro.
a big oof happened. A lot of the stuff in the room was destroyed. I didn't notice it until a couple of hours before game, so I've been basically trying nonstop to make sure that everything for the next arc is in game, and make sure that nothing important was taken out of game, which a lot of things were, but you know, let's just not worry about that. And the shower curtain is gone, and the cause of the explosion was probably this Voltorb. It wanted to be in the shower, and I told it, Voltorb, you can't be in the shower, and it goes, Voltorb. And I'm like, Voltorb, you need to understand, the water's gonna hit you, and it's like, Voltorb. And I'm like, Voltorb, you can't do that. And I tried to, move the shower curtain, and then he exploded, is the end character reason we're giving for this. Okay, so.
Something Bidooff's name.
It wanted to be looted. You see? But Blue was trying to deny it.
With that being said, this is the first game since coming back from the 1-year Pokeversary. That's right.
Oh, man.
That's right. It's a Pokeversary because it's Pokemon. Anyway, so for those of you who coming after the 1-year thing for some reason, we have our boy playing Keanu in his Maryland mobile, twitch.tv/FrozenFrost.
Beep beep.
We have our boy playing Evelyn rising up back on the streets.
Into the stars.
Eric VA.
Pew pew ka-choo.
We got our man riding into battle atop a sweaty Aeron. Playing April. Fomahad.
Ah,
Okay. And we got our boy riding in on his capitalist greed, playing Varric. Money cannot ease or erase my eternal sadness.
Hi, how's it
it's
going?
okay. I
nerd?
can
Emerald
fix it.
Tag.
I can fix it.
It me.
Oh, there you go.
What am I now?
he's got a party hat on.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
You're still trying to party the Pokeversary away, and everybody else has moved on. So not wanting to get into anything big yet because we haven't decided things and things haven't entirely gotten set in stone. But there is potentially something that we need to have a discussion about potentially after stream. About potentially some things we have to do for the future, the next couple of months, that could affect the Pokemon game going forward. But we'll figure things out at that point. Wanted to give everybody a bit of a heads up about that. But we will work on that when we have to work on that. For now, I think we need to ask. Evelyn here. What all happened last game?
Oh heck, man. Oh geez. Heckin'. Well, we went.
Good luck not
talk
having any
to-
background images to help with.
Yeah, that's really doing me a hurt.
I know.
Fucking. I know we talked to Chemo's sister. Oh yeah. No, we started. With Varric going off with Sherry, and she was trying to catch Stuffle with the broken Pokeball, and it didn't work.
Yeah, she was.
And then a Heracross showed up because it was like, "Hey, stop attacking that Stuffle," and she was like, "No," and then it attacked more.
It then proceeded to sweep my entire team.
It didn't sweep the entire team.
It swept like half your team. Exactly
Two-thirds of
half
my
your team, actually.
2/3 of my team.
And yeah, and then he gave Sherry a Pokeball, and like at the last minute, so it took her another minute to work on it, and then she threw it at the Heracross and caught it, and that's why it's here. And it's a hero cross, is what it is.
It's a hero cross.
It's a
Ah,
big tough Goral. Hey.
I'm gonna name you Hercules because you're a Heracross, and I don't want to call you Heracles. Also, you're a girl, so it'll be a girl Hercules, and that'll be really
Hercules.
cool.
Who the fuck calls it Heracles?
Hercules.
Not him, Achilles. It's Hercules.
Hercules homunculi.
I'm gonna call you Hemcules. Cause
But,
boy Herculeses are Herculeses. Anyway.
But yeah, heckin' then we ditched Chemo Sister at the gym because she's sucks.
Yep.
And
There's no lie here.
we talked about going to Blackthorn and Mahogany to look for Chemo Sister and stuff about Mewtwo, I think.
Mhm.
And then
Also, Rocket Hideout.
Rocket Hideout.
Yeah.
And Sherry's very interested in that. Then heckin' after that, I genuinely forget what the fuck happened.
That's perfectly fine. Also, Saroni Z, it's not that she can make Master Balls. I want to get that plain out right now. She can make it to where Pokeballs don't break. Usually in our games, whenever you guys throw a Pokeball at something and it fails, it'll break. The Pokeball will break, and you won't be able to use that Pokeball again. It's my way of thinking, how the games do it. You throw a ball out, instead of picking the ball back up, you can't use it anymore. So what she did, and what she didn't need to do in the end, was she made it to where that ball, the ball couldn't break whenever she threw it if it failed to catch. So that's what she was doing, because she is smart, and she got that from one of her prestiges.
That's heckin'
Aw,
cool.
she's smart.
So if you guys have any special Pokeballs you ever want to not have broken, you could be like, hey, Sherry, maybe fucking here. So in the end of all that yesterday, after everybody got together, they started getting ready to leave. You guys do know that there was a bit of a time that we skipped over because it was getting near the end of the game. But Chemo would have said goodbye to her Scizor and her Lurantis as they were leaving. She would have also packed up some new stuff upon leaving. And instead of going back to the old Chemo image, maybe she packed a travel kimono. I don't know.
The
Maybe
good old
she's just
traveling kimonos.
Yep,
Maybe she just
them
likes
good
being
old
kimonos
traveling
now.
kimonos. But no, it's actually pretty nice because her class has always kind of been a psychic, but now I can call her now that the secret is out, I can instead call her Kimono Sister Chemo.
Yay.
Because like
Oh, no.
before I was always
Oh,
like,
this
oh,
is
it's
good.
psychic Chemo, and it's like, no, she's Kimono Sister. So with all that being said, she can also now potentially do some neato things now that she has a little bit more confidence in herself from what happened with her sister and blah 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 blue. As she packed up everything, as you guys packed up everything, as you guys went off and continued to do your things. Important question: April still have a kimono? Yeah, sure. April and Evelyn still have their kimono. Sure.
Yes. I was hoping.
April and Evelyn still have their kimonos, and they gave one to Sherry as well, and a Hercules. I'm kidding.
And Reyna and fucking Baneri and fucking everyone.
Everyone, and Varric and
fucking
Keanu.
Shooter.
Varric and Keanu also got one.
Ah, yes. My
They
kimono
looking
sister
fabulous.
Keanu. Let's go.
Shooter just has a kimono.
Do guys wear kimonos, right? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, they wear. Is it they don't wear yukata, or do they wear
Yukata
yukata?
are
No.
summer kimonos. Men can also wear yukata. They
Oh, okay, I
wear them
didn't know.
differently.
Yeah, okay, that's
a
what
woman's
it was.
kimono is extremely different from a man's.
Gotcha. With all that being said, you guys could have raided that entire fucking compound for all I care. You guys were able to get yourselves some. We'll say from raiding her house, you guys are able to get some fresh blankets. Some different, some like you're able to get some new clothes if you guys wanted to say that you guys are changing clothes every day. You have new Jotonian clothes now. Oh, Johto version,
Stole all their clothes.
Anyway,
Now I have a Japanese business suit.
A Fampy hoodie.
Jotonese.
Oh, that'd be really cute, actually. A Fampy
A
hoodie.
Fampy hoodie? Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, why not? Why not?
I really want to see you get a Fampy hoodie now. Or like a Teddy Ursa.
You know what? Yeah, hold on.
Your
let me-
squeaks. What
Oh,
up?
whatever I was going, fuck this.
Anywho, with
Fuck
that
this, I'm
being
going
said,
mad now.
with all that being said, as you guys made your way away from the Ekritique City, boop, you guys find yourself on the road to Viridian
City?
City. No, it's pretty far away. It's not a good place for you guys to go right now. It's pretty far from where you are. You guys make yourself off toward the east of Ekritique City. As you guys do, you find yourselves at a what appears to be a very much mountainous and river centric area. On the other side of the river that is flowing through here is the path going on to Mahogany Town. However, the only path that seems to go through the river seems to be a different like kind of myriad of tunnels that go through the mountains off to the side. However, you could also attempt to try to cross by going through the forests as well to see if you can maybe go to the forest to the south. Upon getting to these rivers, you guys basically at this point look back. You can no longer see but maybe like the smallest hint of the towers of Ekritique City from where you guys are. You do remember back in Olivine City that you had once met with a black belt who said that he made his home in the caves of this place. So the caves can't be too dangerous, right? It can't be too dangerous. Yeah, the black belt who was trying to fight against Tropius.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
he said that he made his home in these mountains.
It's probably perfectly safe.
Or
Definitely
totally
safe.
Yeah.
I will let you guys know it is very bright outside, so it's not like you guys need. It's not like the cave offers any sort of protection to you guys or anything. You guys did start traveling during the daytime, so don't worry too much about that. Out of everything here, each of the NPCs probably have their own preferences on which way they'd like to go. But I'd like to ask you guys: do April, Evelyn, Varric, and Keanu have any preferences on which way they'd like to go to Mahogany Town, either through the mountains or through the forest?
And those trees are looking real cool.
I'm down for the trees.
No ulterior motive.
Now I want you to go. Never mind. There's only one path.
There's only one path, huh? Through the trees. Okay.
No. Through the caves. There's only the one. There's only one path. I'm sorry, Keanu. Hopefully, there's not any Zubats in Johto.
Clementine.
Use powder snow. Eevee, try attack on me.
To be fair, there could be Zubats either direction.
Well,
But less likely that way.
luckily, it is the daytime, so it's very unlikely that Zubats would be in the forest, Keanu.
That's also.
Exactly. He's probably in the cave.
So
Oh,
Keanu
okay.
is very adamant about going through the forests. Does anybody have any other options available?
I don't see any reason to choose that over the caves. I mean,
Time we've trusted Keanu's things have ended perfectly right. So why not? Let's go.
I mean, is going to the forest slower than going through the cave?
You don't know entirely if going through the forest will get you to the other side of the river. However, there is a path into the forest, so you can be relatively sure that it could. You have no idea which one to be quicker, though. The only one who would know anything about this would be Chemo, which is why I said, you know, one of the, some of the NPCs may have their own ideas of what to do.
Do you know which way would be quickest, Chemo?
No, I do not. I'm kidding. Chemo just kind of like looks over to you guys, looks over toward the river, and then back to you. It's just like, are you guys kidding me? I don't know if I should give you this.
Joker, look.
Let's go this way.
She seems to be very, very disappointed right now, but trying not to show it because she's been trying to be friendly, Chemo, the past couple of days, you see.
Can you help me out
This is a
here?
very, 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 very
Ronan,
vulnerable moment.
Ronan. That's basically what she's thinking, but I'm not going to read that out loud just for the reason that you just anyway.
So, the caves would probably be quicker. Is that it?
She just looks at you and just like has like a very flat look on her face. You know that picture that we had that I had linked to you, Eric, about like the two girls that were laying together? And, like
Yeah.
one of them had just the dead eyes. Right now, Chemo is just sitting here realizing, I don't know if my new friends are very smart.
Dude, Jotonians gotta build roads.
So guys,
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
we have a giant dinosaur. And this is a small river.
I don't follow.
Well,
Keanu, we can just ride Tropia.
So Ronan
Or
lost.
use her as a prey.
Ronan lost directly after I had. By the way, this was not something that Ronan reminded me of, but directly after I talked to Chemo, send a thing in going, question. Now that Tropius listens to Keanu, what's stopping them from flying ahead?
Could we all fit on Tropius?
No, but it's definitely possible for Tropius to potentially ferry you guys back and forth. You guys do know that Tropius has carried the weight of some of you before, but not all of you. Definitely not all of you. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 humans that can't be put in Pokeballs with you that would be trying to ride on her.
Okay, I understand now what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I was like, "Oh, we're just going through the fucking thing." I didn't realize we were trying to get over the fucking river.
So
Well,
I missed
You
that
guys-
bit of context.
you guys now have 3 options ahead of you from what Chemo has said. You can either go through the caves, which could potentially lead you guys to Pokemon and, you know, riches beyond your wildest dreams and a bunch of Zubat. Or you guys can go through the forest to potentially, you know, lead you to some more Pokemon habitats and things like that. However, there's no guarantee of getting over the river from there. Or you guys can attempt to skip over that and fly over this small river on Tropius, taking a few trips to do so, if you can convince Tropius to do it. I will say that is the big thing there. Whereas Tropius has been listening to Keanu a lot more lately. Who's to say? By the way, Ronan, who is that $2 to? Let me know.
How big is the river? Like, how far across would it be?
It is decently large. It's not like you can't see the end of it, definitely.
Couple hundred
But
meters.
it's around like the size of a couple of like probably a decent number of Tropius lengths. It would take Tropius like a couple of seconds to fly from one side to the other. For you guys to swim it, it would basically be almost impossible without the aid of some sort of Pokemon.
Could have maybe Shooter levitate us across, or some of us anyway.
Shooter would have trouble levitating someone across this much of a length.
Okay.
He could do
So-
it potentially, but he might have trouble.
I wouldn't ask him to do that then. So
A flying Pokemon or a water Pokemon would be best used for this kind of a thing.
So do we
yeah.
wanna
Sherry
ask Tropius?
climbs on Hercules' back. I'm kidding.
Preventing her from opening her wings.
As they dive into the water. I'm kidding.
She just puts a little seat on the horn. Go.
Okay, that was inspiration for Keanu. Okay.
Hooray.
Boop.
So,
So it's
You
up to you
know-
guys. Those are the
We
three
want-
options ahead of you. You could also
wanna
just
ask-
decide
oh.
to sit here and you know like hang out for a bit like you guys did at the last river area you guys had stopped with. Which Eric, that was before you even joined where they had their river party.
I don't
They
know
were-
what you're talking about.
Outside of Canalive City, the first time they ever saw a river, they're just like, "Hey guys, let's just fucking hang out here for a bit." And they like Lee jumped in and swam and found a tentacle.
Where we got
Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
we got Barry there, and that was
Oh,
great.
that
and
was
she's
the lake.
Amazing.
No,
Yeah.
that was the river in between Canalive and Jubilife. Mm-hmm. They had to get ferried across.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Keanu.
No.
Can we try and use Tropius to get across the river? Can you pull her out? See if you can convince her to do that.
Yeah.
It's just like he's sitting there like you think that there might be something wrong. It's just like, yeah. Tropius comes out as she does. The trees and air around no fear as Tropius just kind of like comes out like meh.
Okay.
She lets out a kind of like a yell of readiness to battle. She looks around, immediately looks disappointed. There is no battle, as always. Only there's no real anger here, like usual. Like there's no anger upon coming out without any battles this time, at the very least.
Tropius.
Tropius looks down towards you, Keanu.
Hi.
Bats you into the river. I'm kidding.
All right, so you can ask her now.
Oh,
She's your
Tropius.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
You should ask her.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she'd do it for me. Tropius, do you want to fight gravity with me?
Roll me expression.
Natural 20.
Oh shit.
Tropius understands entirely what you mean. Oh, fight gravity? Definitely. I want to kill gravity.
Die, gravity.
She fucking goes and destroys Palkia, the master of space, and
They'll float the fuck away and die.
Her thirst for legendary blood is not quenched.
No. Tropius looks to you and just kind of like lowers her head, trying to like see if she can understand what you guys are meaning. She then raises her head and sees the river, and she's like, "Oh." Tropius is going to look to you guys, and again, with her 6 now in individuality, which is the absolute perfect, in my opinion, place to be for that stat. She seems to look you guys over, understanding that any one of you would be washed away by the tide of this and thrown asunder into the Jotonian wilds.
yeah.
She seems to
Bear Grylls.
lay forward like onto her stomach, getting as low as she can. Basically like if anybody wants to climb on, go ahead.
I put a little yee on my head so I can pull out my Pokeballs to put Marilyn and Vivi away.
Pshoo, pshoo.
I am also putting away all 4 of my Pokemon, which I didn't realize I had out at the end of last.
Fuck.
Chemo puts away Bulbasaur. The only Pokemon Chemo has at the
Okay.
moment. Other than this one, which she hasn't caught yet, because
Shooter can fly. He's fine.
But she has a Pokeball.
she does. She hasn't caught it yet, though. She's saving it, you see, for a special occasion. Unlike the end of last game, where the special occasion was totally there, but then she's like, the moment passed.
I get the board now.
I'm gonna be right back real quick, if that's fine. I'm just grabbing a drink. I forgot to grab it before game.
Sherry looks at Heracross, and she's just like, we can make it a cross, right, Heracross? It's like in your name.
Heracross.
Heracross does not
Yeah,
look
that's
very
it.
happy to be here at all, and does not look very happy to have Sherry as its master, and kind of pushes
Is that
Sherry a
boring?
bit. Like, get away from
Just
me.
one hand, like.
Phantom footy.
Stuffle's here, like, I don't want to get wet, but I don't like things carrying me.
Conflicted.
You can sit on top of Shooter.
That's carrying me. You want to try to you want to try to convince Stuffle to get on top of Shooter?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I know you don't really like being carried that much, but do you want to maybe like go for a ride?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, you don't have a ball for anyone to put you in for you to be safe across the
Yeah.
river.
Yeah, I don't want to get. I don't want you to pick me up.
A Shooter won't pick you up. You can just ride on his head.
I don't know.
Which is most of him.
It's just like being on a boat. The boat picked you up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shooter's, not the boat. But...
Gets on a boat, eyes turn bloodshot, punches the boat.
It's just in my nature.
It looks to you guys, looks to Shooter. Starts very tentatively making its way over to Shooter.
Shooter, do you mind holding him or not holding him, but carrying him across while we do the river thing?
Shooter kind of just floats there. Just kind of like turns a little bit, sees Stuffle. Stuffle starts levitating.
Just like not like holding him, like maybe just like sit him on your head or something.
Give him the royal skinny treatment.
You see that John Cena starts actually like flailing around, and you guys notice from him flailing around, again, this is a Stuffle, as it's flailing around, you guys feel like air coming off of the punches that it's throwing. Like, these things are strong.
Yeah, man.
These things
a
are fucking
bear.
tough.
It's a teddy bear.
You
but it's
actually
more bear.
worry for a second, Evelyn, because Cena is a kind of a Pokemon that, well, beats things up, and if it's on Shooter and flailing around,
It might beat him up. Yeah.
at the
Okay,
same
so-
time though, the levitation gives Reyna an idea
Oh.
as she just picks up Stuffle. As she picks up Stuffle, Stuffle starts flailing around as its fists go through Reyna.
Oh yeah,
goes-
fighting
Goes
and
through the part of her she doesn't want to touch it. Yeah.
Ghost Yev saves the day again.
As it's just
What?
not understanding life right now and is flailing around for dear life.
You'll be
Don't be a
okay. It's
ghost.
fine. No, you're not gonna get hurt. Raina's gonna take good care of you.
I
She
just
just
wait until that thing was knocked out to pick it up.
Reyna just kind of lifts her feet up as she's just levitating now and just like floats over toward the river. As Cena's like, no! as she just
know,
begins going across.
Gosh, it's
Well, I
Who's up
appreciate
first?
you trying to shoot her.
So for the ride on big old T-Dog.
I will say Tropius would be able to take 2 to 3 of you at once. It depends on who the third person is. But I believe that you guys could very well get across the first time at the very least without too many problems. So who's going over first?
The cutest tree in all the land.
I guess
how
so.
about-
Who
there
be
you go.
trip trapping across my tree?
I guess, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go right on the giant dinosaur Hercules return.
Okay.
That's that.
Some more squad. Let's go.
Ah, yes, the most important ones need to go first.
So
Thank you, Tropius.
this first trip is pretty fine. Nothing really goes very wrong or anything. Why would it go wrong? By the way,
I
There's-
give Tropius a big hug when I hop on.
it pushes you away. Okay, it's like get off me.
By the way, I'm really
Hard.
sorry I got snippy with you that time.
Giant foot just pushes me like 5
It's just like
feet.
you say, "I'm very sorry, I got snippy with you." It just kind of like looks back towards you. It's just like, "It's all right, you're sorry." That's right, you're sorry. As it lands, lets you guys down, just kind of like lays down for a little bit. Again, just kind of like with a very huffy attitude about it. It's like, fine, get off, whatever. Gonna go get your freaking friends. Blah.
You're the best.
At this point, you guys also notice Chemo's already over here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, she can teleport.
It's like, oh, this is gonna be so handy.
As Chemo's just like, she didn't want to cross with tungsten in the air.
Tungsten just sitting there wide-eyed, like, I've seen the fabric of reality.
She couldn't return tungsten, and she didn't want to ride on Tropius holding tungsten. She thought it was unsafe.
Gosh, our friends are so cool.
Tropius flies back over.
Well, it's time to ride the dinosaur.
You two, you want to get on Tropius?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll begrudgingly go.
Perfect.
Ah,
You
No,
push you push Varric off.
walking along the bottom.
You guys
long
get onto
live
Tropius.
the king.
As you-
What?
As you guys get onto Tropius, Tropius begins flying off through the air. It's at this point I would like both of you, plus the no, you guys aren't really high enough to roll for this. Actually, Evelyn as well. I would like Evelyn, April, and Varric to please roll me for. This would definitely be perception.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Also, this with that Fampy hoodie.
Oh shit. Oh,
Oh.
I love it.
You know what? I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna just
Looks
get
like
one in
it's
this
eating
one.
your
'cause I have
It
I have
kind of
the
does.
inspiration to spare.
Here we go.
Using 2 of them won't be
Rolling
that
my
bad.
dukes.
That is a.
I was like, yeah, it's not the thing. You just gotta stop there.
22.
All right. Ooh, 22 from him. All right, I'll go ahead and, you know what? I'll just use 1 inspiration.
Okay, go ahead.
First roll, that's a
Oh my goodness.
14. That's a good baseline for me. And then, so 20.
So, as things are going on, as Tropius starts flying over the river this second time, Evelyn,
Hmm.
you notice a ringing sound. A very, very faint, very low, very, very quiet, as if far off, but very prominent, like almost like a buzzing or like a screeching, like some kind of a very metallic sound through the air. You don't know exactly what it is. You do kind of get where it's coming from, though. You look off toward the north area. You look off toward toward where the mountains are, off to the northeast.
Hmm.
As you hear this, you notice first off that no one else around you hears this at all. Nobody's really freaking going crazy, except for maybe Patchy. Actually, you know what? Patchy would totally fucking like look off with you. Like, as you're looking away, like the rest of your Pokemon are just kind of hanging out, you notice that Patchy is also looking off to the northeast. As you hear that, Varric, while you're riding up high on Tropius, you notice off toward the northeast what appears to be a flock of bird-like Pokemon seemingly flying away, heading off, just kind of scattering into the different directions. You know enough about Pokemon to know that that's not usually how Pokemon act. They usually go off in flocks or things of that nature. It seemed like for a moment, off in the distance, off toward the northeast, there was just a flock of either Pidgey or Sparrow or something that just scattered. And from what you can see looking at them, they seem to be flailing around as if something is going on. Upon doing this, you guys feel clenching from Tropius. As you feel this, Varric, you notice that Tropius seems to be a lot rougher right now than normal. As Tropius is flying, she seems to be not as smooth of a flyer at this point. She seems to be rising up and going down at a little bit. She seems to be trying to control it, but you guys are right now directly over the center of the river, and Tropius appears to be having trouble. I'd like to know, Varric or Evelyn, since both of you have gotten to a point where you had something weird seen. Evelyn, you look back to tell the others about whatever you just heard or any time of weird things happening. You notice, again, just with that 20-something perception you rolled, that Tropius seems to be having some trouble in the air.
Oh no. What's going on?
Have you guys seen Biggie? He's not in his Pokeball.
Is Biggie fucking missing too?
Did he get exploded by a Voltorb? That'll happen sometimes.
I'll get a new Biggie, but I don't know where he's at.
Oh no.
It's so tragic.
We lost our
Tried so hard he exploded.
He cried so hard he exploded.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Anywho, no, it's a very simple fix. We know where Biggie is, so it's fine. But I'll just get a new one ready. But you guys continue.
Oh, Tropius, are you okay?
Tropius lets out a bit of a distressed like roaring sound. Those of you who did not notice that Tropius something was up with Tropius now immediately understand that Tropius is somewhat distressed.
Aye.
How close is she to the shore?
She is hovering right now around halfway over the river. Keanu, you notice that Tropius is having some issues.
Hey Tropius, you do your best.
You can do it, Tropius, I believe.
Shooter, do you think you can help her across? She looks to be having a lot of trouble.
Shooter would not be able to levitate Tropius that way. Not that way. Like, the move would still be accurately used on Tropius, but he would not be able to levitate Tropius like he does with all of you guys.
Okay.
Tropius is a giant Tropius.
Okay.
This is huge.
Like, if you were to use the move levitate on Tropius, it would work, obviously. But the way that you guys have been kind of practically using it would not work with Tropius.
Okay.
Go Tropius, she's our tree. She's so tough she makes you pee.
I would like you to roll me for Tropius's special defense, please.
I believe. Natural 1.
No.
Well, you know what? I figure this is just something that will
Total of
have to happen.
11.
I love how it's a total of 11. let me get Biggie in here really quick while I'm thinking about what's gonna happen on a natural one.
Where's my big squishy
Wow.
cotty baby?
That's the only thing I can think of to do at this very moment.
Hold,
There we
hold,
go.
hold your horses, man.
I'm
even know.
trying to recover my child from beyond the grasps of time. Right?
let me figure out where I put the Pokemon arts really quick before you
Oh, here we
freaking go and throw a wrench into everything. Okay, it's in Pokemon Assets and New Folder 2. Got it.
Tropius plummets into the river and stands on the bottom.
Pokemon Assets, New Folder 2, and Biggie. Look, there's Biggie is.
It's my baby.
There's
There's
Biggie.
Biggie.
There's
There we
Biggie.
go. There's
Anyway,
a
what I'm
baby,
actually
guys.
gonna do is go and pull
Perfect.
up Barry.
Anywho. So,
Anyway, what I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna get Barry's Pokeball ready to go.
Tropius flails around trying to do something about what's going on here. You guys notice that Tropius is trying to fight the urge to basically stop their wings from flapping. They seem to want to do something else with their wings currently. As she is flailing around, I would like you to roll for understanding, April and Varric, since you guys are the closest.
Alright, here we go.
Since I did see what happened to the bird Pokemon, do I have a better idea of what's happening?
I'm not understanding anything today. Wind must be especially strong today.
Understanding for Varric. You notice that as Tropius kind of like flies up and like tries to get more altitude, it seems to at that point flail around harder. It seems the higher that Tropius is, the worse whatever this is affecting it. You also notice that it seems to be, whenever it does flail its wings around and you guys lose altitude, it seems to be trying to put its wings across its head.
Alright, I know what I gotta do. First, Tropius, please try to go lower. Try and hover over the water. As I'm gonna try and climb onto Tropius's neck.
Tropius is gonna try. However, Tropius right now is that with that one is not gonna do great with this. Tropius tries to go down some, and as she's going down, I would like you to just roll me a straight d20 right now, Aaron. This would be a skill check. This would be one of the skills, but because they rolled a nat 1 and they're so distressed, they don't get their skills for this roll. Tropius tries to get lower. As Tropius tries to get lower, it's just they're not able to keep themselves aloft nearly as well. Varric, you try to climb onto Tropius's neck. I need you to let's get some of them good old
He's like
Varric
Captain
strength
Jack Sparrow at the
rolls.
beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean. Just
First
slowly
off,
sinking in the
Varric,
water.
I would give you some sort of advantage right now, but you have a -1 in bravery, so you're kind of freaking out right now. So go ahead and roll me for your strength.
Alright, let's go ahead. Just grab one Bear Inspiration. Two Bear Inspiration.
They're like, what are you doing?
I am
This is
using,
so
in
climbing,
fact,
it's
2
fine,
Bear
it's fine.
Inspiration for this.
No
Okay.
fear.
I believe I still have the effect of the last meal we had. So I have a 0 strength.
You do have a 0 strength, I believe.
So let's see how this goes.
That's an 11.
Oh, God, that was a thing.
1, 2, and just for all the marbles in the whole world, it's a nat 1, so 11.
Varric, you try to climb up onto Tropius's neck. You notice that Tropius is flailing about, just basically barely keeping aloft. They something is keeping them keeping them just from acting any sort of rationally. They're throwing their head and neck around, not able to stop themselves from doing so. At this point, you notice that Tropius is about to dive down into the water. You have one more try to get on Tropius's head.
Let's see here. One.
I'm not even gonna let Tropius roll for this one because, again, a
No.
4 and a nat 1. There's no way.
Ryuji.
I am definitely using more inspiration than I thought I would at the beginning of game today. So let's do this one.
Hey,
18.
there's an 18.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's pretty okay.
Of course.
Sorry, you needed a 19 to live.
That second roll. Let's see here. The third roll is a nat 20. There we go.
You needed a 21 to live, I meant.
Bitch.
Suddenly not allowing fucking crits on skill checks now.
Varric, as you climb up onto Tropius, Tropius is flailing around, trying to stop itself from whatever is going on, but you understood what was going on. When you saw the birds flying away, when you see what's like Tropius going on, when you see like what's going on with her going up into the air, you try your best to climb up. And as you do, you try to just cover Tropius's head with you. You basically, I'm just assuming you get up onto Tropius's head. You undo the buttons on your business blazer, and you just throw it over the top of Tropius's head, trying to cover where its ears would be.
That is effectively what I want to do. Yeah.
You are trying your best to drown out whatever this is. You start humming. You're you're trying to drown out whatever this is for Tropius. And as you are doing so, Tropius skirts across the ground. Water gets thrown up towards you guys. You guys feel, as soon as Tropius impacted with this river, it seemed to move Tropius. There is a bit of a strong current with this river. However, Tropius seems to at that point open her eyes upon you getting onto the head. And as she opens her eyes, not really that affected by this anymore, she spreads her wings wide, does one more flap, and is basically skirting across the top of the water, her toes kind of streaming into it, heading as fast as she can toward the side of the river. In fact, Keanu, you've seen this pose of hers before. You notice that in order to get to the edge of the river, Tropius is using Brave Bird.
Yo, welcome to the splash.
So you guys
let's
should
go.
probably move. At which point, Reyna just floats away okay, nope.
Alright. Come on. A little
Tropius
closer. You're good.
slides into the rock of the side of the river. As she does, she kicks up dirt and rock and grass as she lands and just kind of skirts across it for a moment. Her eyes kind of shut as she knocks over tiny shrubs and other things in her wake. April and Varric, with the 20, I'll say you're fine. April, roll me for a strength. And if you get below a 13, roll me endurance.
Go. We're on the highway.
Hey, you're fine. You guys hold on to Tropius as much as you can. Tropius is a strong Goyle and very beefy, very armored. You guys are fine as you guys hit the ground. You feel a little bit of whiplash from the impact, and your clothes are a little bit wet from the upturning of the water there. But as Tropius lands and skirts into the ground, she seems to probably take a bit of damage as she does this, because she just brave birded the fucking earth. So
Yeet.
we'll go
I was gonna use one of my super potions. But
We'll
if you
go
wanna
ahead.
use
We'll
it-
go ahead and assume that this is around 22 damage because they take a third of the damage that they deal. So we'll take we'll take this as around 22 damage for Tropius. As Tropius lands, she skirts across the ground for a second. She kind of seems to shakily get up. You notice it's probably not from like the impact as much as it's probably still the noise going on. Evelyn, you still hear that slight like twinge of a noise in your head as well. You notice that Patchy as well is still probably hearing it.
What is going on?
Is Keanu aware of this noise?
Nope.
Good.
There's a noise. Now he is.
Yeah, I'd assume. I saw it like the
Good.
northeast or whatever. Thank you, Tropius. That was amazing.
You go to Tropius, you have this potion, and you chuck it at Tropius.
No, you don't
Throw it
spray,
on.
you just like throw the potion.
You
Bonk.
spray some of the you spray some of the spots that Tropius had landed on with the potion. Tropius seems very much kind of out of breath-ish. You notice that Tropius is right now currently covering their head with their leafy wings.
Oh no.
Yeah, you might want to put her away.
Okay, if we find whatever's doing your brain a hurt, we'll beat it up.
You see the look on Tropius' face, like she's just like, I want to fucking beat it up, whatever that's.
I mean, yeah.
She looks
totally
very
get it.
upset. Like she has like an angry look, like something's hurting me, something's doing something. I'm gonna kill it.
I give her a smooch and then I put her away.
We will
Do
say
the
that
other
she,
Pokemon look bothered by this as well, or is it just like
just
Patchy.
Tropius currently and Patchy and yourself.
hmm.
Oh,
Is this Patchy? Is this like that one time when we were in the forest and you heard a loud noise?
Patchy just kind of like looks back over to you. It seems to be potentially hearing it even probably a little bit better than you are right now, as it seems to have a bit of an uncomfortable face about it, but it shakes its head at you upon that being said. Like this is apparently something different.
yeah.
Huh.
Uh,
Is it bothering you? Do you want to like?
I don't know what it is. It's ringing in my ears. It hurt. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, like here. What, do you want to go in your Pokeball for a little bit to get away from it?
No.
Okay. She'll put him away.
yeah. Something's going on. Like, to the northeast, there's a flock of bird Pokemon that just suddenly scattered and started flailing about. Whatever's going on, it's affecting Pokemon the higher up they go. That's what I saw.
Well, Patchy was right on the ground, so
Hmm.
and no one else is really being bothered by it.
Yeah, none of the Pokemon currently out seem to be too affected by it.
Hmm.
I mean, here's the thing: if it affected, yeah, he's not really showing it.
He just chooses not to be affected by it.
he wins.
He just
He-
chooses
he-
to win.
He won against whatever this was. It's just I win.
I win.
Aaron wins. Silver wins.
At this point,
Damn,
at
I
this
am the
point,
one who
Chemo.
wins.
At this point, Chemo looks over towards you guys. I don't know what you're talking about as far as any sort of noise, but I do know that migration seems to be really weird around this area. Not really a lot of not a lot of bird Pokemon stick around around Mahogany Town.
Is the
Do they hate
the
trees?
li-
I don't think they hate trees, but we do get a whole lot of migration through Ecruteak because of it. It's why we, have a lot of emphasis on birds and culture like that in Ecruteak. It's
I was
only
gonna say people who work on cleaning up bird poop.
probably that too.
where does it sound like it's coming from? It sounds like it's coming from over towards Mahogany Town.
The northeast. Mahogany Town is to the east.
Sounds like this noise is coming from the northeast.
Is that the direction of the caves?
No, the caves are to the north. You're like, I don't want to go. Fuck it, I don't care.
Somewhere between the caves and the town.
Well,
Probably the caves. Just saying.
if you're thinking it's somewhere to the north of Mahogany, maybe the lake?
You mean the Lake of Rage? I think they called it.
That's the only thing that's off in that direction, except for an expanse of mountains until you reach Sinnoh.
They connect?
Yeah, Kanto, Johto, and Sinnoh were all a part of this one big old continent.
Bruh.
At least as far as the lore of the RP is concerned.
Oh, it's very fun.
I'm still working on. I don't.
It makes sense because, you know, somewhere in Sinnoh, there's actually a place called the Sinjo Ruins, which would only make sense if Sinnoh and Johto were in some way connected. And if you look at the topography of the entirety of the things, it kind of makes a little bit of sense as well, but let's not think about it right now. Also, if you really think about it, at that point, you could potentially consider the Lake of Rage like almost like a fourth lake as far as the Sinoni. Anyway.
I'm glad this is not canon because Evelyn will be fucking riveted by now.
Goes on.
Please go on.
The Poke historian.
I need to just throw like a random hiker who has all this information in this now.
Lucky Evelyn's last name is a tree name.
Yes, I'm Evelyn Chi.
Bruce.
I'm. It's great. Don't worry about it.
Evelyn Pines. She pines for
That's actually pretty
Pokemon.
cute.
But yes, from what you guys can tell, Sinnoh is to the north of Kanto and Johto, but there is a large expanse of mountains connected potentially with Mount Coronet and the other mountains as well, like in between. Like there is a humongous mountainous region with probably some dotted like communities and things like that around, but no humongous cities.
Well,
With that being said.
think I heard something about like a device that's meant to evolve Pokemon or something there.
Oh, you're talking about the things we were thinking about from that base there.
It's called like a
Yeah.
Thunderstone or something, right?
Apparently, a long time ago, Team Rocket were trying some weird, stupid things, and it's really interesting, and I want to figure it out. But if it has something to do with the Lake of Rage, maybe something's still going on there. Although I
Like an
really
Angry
doubt-
Stone?
I really doubt that any sort of machinery would still be working after all these years. Like,
I don't
how would
know.
how would
Anything
anybody
yet?
how would anybody understand how to work it? And if it's autonomous, how come no one's noticed any big power drains or anything like that?
Well, I mean, if Mewtwo's here, maybe Team Break isn't far behind.
Hmm.
Maybe
We've
they
already
found
seen
it.
Team Break.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
If that's the case, we do need to be a little bit more careful around here then. If Team Break has already found that Team Rocket base, then maybe things are going to be a little bit more complicated.
Or a little bit more easy. If they're at the base, we'll just throw Tropius down there and boom, we're done. And I'll have Heracles help. I'm just going between different types of names. I'm thinking Heracles, and then I'm thinking Hercules, and then I'm thinking Himkilles. You know, it just something Achilles. Achilles.
You got it.
Well, I think that'd be dangerous for Tropius because what if they have a bajillion super evolved Pokemon now?
And you know, if it's potentially the source of the noise, Tropius might not be able to do anything.
I'd rather not see you guys plummeting to the ground any longer. I mean, I guess if you would have plummeted into the water, things would have been fine. I could have potentially got out there and tried to help you. But if there's ground beneath you, you may end up like me.
Oh.
Pokemon? Tropius, take me up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, jeez.
Why are you guys so sad?
I don't know. They're all weird.
So do we want to keep going towards
Biggie's
Mahogany?
just
Or...
being Biggie, I think.
Well, we have to keep going to Mahogany.
Tell me,
Yeah.
small blue ball, why do you cry?
I love how we
Yeah.
always assume that 24-7 he's crying.
Well, of
Yeah.
course. Look at his art.
He's just terrified. He's constantly using fake tears to lower everyone's attack.
He constantly cries fake tears to bring over prey that he will swallow whole.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls is actually just this really evil character. He's just doesn't have any attack moves yet.
One
So
day,
Biggie's
one
got
day,
an attack
Biggie,
move.
one day, Biggie stops crying, and all of you just feel like a power up, and you each turn into like a JoJo-sized fucking character.
He's got 2 moves he could use to fight people.
He's been limiting us, making sure that we've been ready.
You know, part of like Dragon Ball Z where like Goku takes off his way to
He's been making
yeah,
sure we were
first
ready
fight.
for the future when we can use our hockey. Anyway,
I found out the other night, if you stare
just
at your
combine all
mirror
the anime.
and you say Biggie's name 3 times, he just comes out of his Pokeball.
So anyway,
It's around this time as you guys are debating some things through here. Evelyn, you stop hearing the noise.
Oh. There it goes.
It seems to have lasted around 15 minutes.
The noise just stopped.
Oh?
You sure you didn't go deaf?
I mean, I'm hearing you speak, so.
She
I
didn't
would
go
guess
deaf?
not.
She looks over. What? He just moused it at you instead of actually saying it. Anyway.
So I guess it's off to Mahogany Town.
Why would it...
Off to not the caves.
cave and
Maybe we can look into that once we're there.
Cave
Maybe.
You understand me, April.
Well, luckily there's a road going there soon. If we just keep walking through the woods, we probably saved a bit of time going over the river instead of through the caves or through the forests. We should be able
We're
to.
like fairy tale characters. We went over the river and through the wood.
I'm going now.
Okay.
I legit thought you meant the anime. I'm not gonna lie.
I was actually gonna say that maybe we'll get there before sunset, and you're just okay. What? Let's fine.
Well, let's go.
Skip. Very excited to go try to find some enemy base. Varric apparently is as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
Now that the noise is gone.
Does everybody want to head off in that direction? Does anybody have anything else to say before they go?
I think we're gonna bump into my grandma because I think that's the next line of that song.
God dang it. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Anyway. You have the trifecta
love the
of you have the trifecta of babies on you currently, by the way.
God, baby, what?
You have the baby force.
You hover over each of them. It says, "I'm baby."
Is Yi a baby or is he like 1,000 years old?
I mean, are you saying that just because he's 1,000 years old, he's not baby?
I mean,
Are
I
you
guess that could be
baby-shaming?
baby by Victini standards. I'd have no way of knowing.
He's baby. Leave him be. He's baby.
Just an adult Victini shows up. It's just like,
It's literally
please,
the same.
Victini shows up, acts exactly like this Victini, but it's in a business suit.
He's got a little briefcase.
It's got like that long wispy beard.
That's old man Victini.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah. Grandpa. Yeah. Or yeah.
So you guys make your way through a small bit of the woods. You don't really see too many Pokemon around currently. This is eventually you make it to a very worn path, a very walked path through the area. So of course none of the Pokemon are really coming into view there. You guys do know as you go by this area. I would like for you guys, if you would like to, roll me for perception to see if you guys can kind of get a glimpse of any of the Pokemon in the area. Also, what is this?
Like seeing stuff.
Is there just a random
Things,
like
things,
earring or something like
things.
in the center of the?
That's a
Oh.
horseshoe. It's good luck.
Okay.
And
heckin-
Keanu sees, but probably nothing. That's a 13.
That's a 7.
Okay.
That's an 18
Okay.
with the 6.
Does April want to try look around?
Yes, let's go.
What?
This has worked perfectly before, so let's do it again.
Oh.
There you go. Upon going through the forest for you guys to kind of see some things, again, if you guys want to come back here or see anything around back here, you're not really seeing too many like really big interesting Pokemon. You're seeing some Sentret, which are pretty cute. Some of you guys are like, hey, I thought Sentret were fatter.
I don't know what that is.
They're just little cute things with like big bushy tails,
Little
like squirrels,
raccoons.
little squirrel raccoon things. As you guys like go through, just kind of like seeing some, it's like, oh, there's potentially some Zubat. No, looking off toward
I
the
remember those.
looking off toward the mountains, there are a couple of Pokemon coming in and out from the caves. You guys see that there are some Machop potentially walking around up through there, hanging out, doing their things. I will say for Varric and April, you guys notice that there are some larger Pokemon in the area. You notice a little bit off to the south of the road you guys are on, there are some Stantler in a herd in that direction. Potentially walking around, grazing, doing some things down there. And in April's case, April, you notice something going through the forest that seems to kind of be following you guys.
Oh.
You notice for a moment as you look off toward one of the bushes, it seemed to move for a moment. However, as soon as you notice this, it seems like wings seem to burst out from the bush very quickly, and a Pokemon seemingly flies off.
What's wrong with that deer's butt?
Okay, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What are the likelihoods of a Pokemon spying on you?
I guess it
Um,
depends on the intelligence of the Pokemon.
Like, give me like a
have,
percentage. Give me like a number.
Would you
did
guys
it have
like to?
glowing eyes and look like it came from the depths of hell?
Would you guys like to go and look over at the bush?
Yeah.
See if you guys
it-
can investigate the area.
Yeah, sure. If April thinks that it's a Pokemon that's spying on them, then sure.
Not
I mean,
today.
if you're saying it has to have red glowing eyes, then it's no
Wait,
big deal.
What did it have feathers or did it not have feathers?
I mean, I saw wings. I can't say much about feathers.
I'll stay here.
It's
Well,
okay.
let's-
I
I'll
need to
respect
know
your
how
flashback.
afraid of this I am.
Well, let's see what I can
Is
find
this,
with
is
my
this a conversation
24.
happening amongst everyone?
It's a
So, you know.
conversation.
Yeah, I'd say
Oh,
you
okay.
guys aren't they haven't seemed to keep any information to
I want to
themselves.
see.
There's us over there. I mean, I think
will go-
everybody flew off, but
I'm just gonna stare at those blobby raccoon things.
You guys get over toward the area that you guys had found or had that April had seen this thing around. April and the others, go ahead and roll me for your luck stats.
here we go.
Any inspiration for a luck stat roll?
You can do whatever you guys
Oh.
want to do.
I'll put an inspiration in.
I'm gonna roll. A 7 for 7, and this time 7 is not pretty lucky.
That's a 14 and
That's a 16 for my first roll.
10. So 14.
Oh, it's a 19 for my second roll. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they stand on their tails.
Did you roll for any luck rolls, Keanu?
Oh, there's luck. No, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, he was looking at
yes.
the centret, so I don't know if he needs to.
Yeah, if it's going over to the winged bush, then no.
Okay. Okay. So what was the highest roll?
19
from
from me.
Merrick.
19 from our boy Varric. You guys go and you check out the bush that whatever this creature seemed to have jumped out from was doing. As you guys do, you notice that there's not really a lot of things here. However, Varric, you notice something along the ground a little bit away from the area. What appears to be a rather long and rather trimmed-looking leak.
Oh, hey, Ali. All right, let's see if I know what a Farfetch
We
is.
could use it for soup.
Oh man, free leak.
I'm rolling this. I'm rolling
April,
this. I rolled a 2.
April's like, free leak, grabs it, starts spinning it.
Would that be a thing to roll understanding for?
For you, Evelyn, you can roll for it with your
Yeah.
Pokemania.
Huh, a leak. Neat.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead and roll me understanding.
I did. It's a 25. Or
I
not
don't know.
25, 23.
I don't know if that's enough.
It's a 23.
That DC was 40. You failed.
Doesn't 30 hit?
you know of a Pokemon that potentially uses a leak in a lot of different forms. You know of the Pokemon Farfetch'd. You also know of all the internet boards for some reason making a GIF of a Farfetch'd and having it swinging around.
Playing it to some heckin' music. You said you saw a Pokemon fly off?
Yeah, I saw it fly. That was right here, and then whoop, it was gone.
Well, I guess it was a Farfetch'd.
What now?
That sounds pretty far-fetched.
I don't know. That sounds
Sure.
Farfetch'd for a Pokemon
I mean,
game.
I would. They like to carry those around. I don't know why.
And beat people with them.
You know,
I mean,
it's like
they hit people with them, but I don't know if that's the reason they carry them around.
a long, squishy raccoon, but I think it
Pretty
just left to
crazy.
walk
It's
around the
really
world.
cool.
Yeah, it just comes back like, hey man, those things were cute. What are you guys doing?
But why would it leave its leak behind?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it got startled and just forgot it or dropped it.
Oh, cool! You found vegetables.
Hmm.
So what's the plan? Is it
Uh,
the leak?
You dropped your leak. Kinda just
Vegetables
looks
can't
off.
fly, April. You're crazy.
Kind of just yells that.
No response.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys what you want to do with it. I see no reason to take it. But
I'm just imagining
Oh,
like
well,
I'm just imagining like
Farfetch'd for-
April looking it over, just like tapping at the top of it, and she's like, "Ow!" And like you guys see like she's like you just see like a cut on her hand, like she was touching a blade.
so that's why they carry it around.
Because they are masters of the sword, you see.
They are
I
masters
don't know.
of the leak.
Like, if this Farfetch'd man you speak of needs his blade, then we just have to give it back to him.
April, for some reason, just kind of almost involuntarily for you, because you've been so used to doing things like this lately, you're like, hearing this was a Farfetch'd, you just start like swinging it around like it's a sword. Imagining yourself holding Honedge.
You have Honedge in one hand and the leak in the other. The dual wielding skill.
It's gonna be very good for when Honedge evolves, you see.
Only for one with the most honed reflexes.
Shut the fuck up.
While you,
Let's get
oh
that
god,
one involved.
Resourceful Raven says, while you were simmering in onion soup, I was studying the leak. But yes, do you guys want to do anything with the leek?
Eat it. It'll give you special powers. Or
It's up to you guys.
Is it
something.
edible?
Yeah, it's edible. It's a leek.
It's a sturdy, hard leek.
I wouldn't see why. I don't see why not.
I mean, it's a free cooking ingredient then. All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
All right then.
All right, you guys not gonna say anything? Just gonna grab it.
You just like, all right, cool, new cooking ingredient. You like kind of twirl it in your hand, raise it up to your back, slide it into your bag along your back.
The bag cuts open, everything spills out.
As the last.
Oh,
of the-
cool, new knife.
A bush splits in half for no reason.
I love Swordmaster fucking April.
But yeah, these woods are great.
Yeah, just grabbing it. Yeah, sure.
You put away the leak. Nothing seems to come at you for it. You guys are looking over toward the road. You guys can see a little bit away from you, Mahogany Town coming into view. You guys have been traveling for a good part of the day between Ekritique and Mahogany, with not much really going crazily weird, other than that thing that happened with Tropius. However, it is starting to get into the afternoon hours. You guys probably saved a couple of hours, like Chemo had said, by going over the river. But it is starting to get to a point where the sun is going down. Unless you guys want to camp out, you should probably make it to Mahogany Town before nightfall. Or you guys could camp out. It doesn't matter.
Hey, that sounds pretty fun.
And I always like camping.
Yeah.
You guys want to try to camp out in the route beside of Mahogany Town?
Yeah, that sounds perfectly safe.
Just don't make eye contact with strangers. You can like talk to them and stuff, but just don't look them in the eye.
I've got like very strange news for you, Keanu. The city is full of strangers.
All right, is that legit? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It sounds like it. That's what they want to do.
I-
Okay, that's fine.
Dude,
What's up, man?
it's probably fine. Don't worry.
Are you worried about the Zubat?
What? No.
Keanu, we really need to have a talk about lying. Lying is bad.
Raina
I'm
just kind
sorry, I am
Raina
worried
just kind
about
of
Zubat.
Raina just kind of
Like,
like
you can keep going if you want.
Raina just kind of pats on your shoulder.
It's okay, Keanu. Zubat don't exist.
Okay.
From a bush, like on the back, it's like there's just a bit like poking it, like I fucked your mom, shit lips.
So, let's go ahead and maybe do a bit of this, maybe do a bit of this, maybe do yeah.
Ooh,
Symbolize it
nice.
getting darker. You guys find a place a little bit off the beaten path that you guys note that potentially is kind of maybe a bit of a rest stop for trainers. Has a nice little section of the ground spread out for you guys, and you find what appears to be in the center of it a unused currently campfire pit.
Excellent. I was going on it anyway.
Around the edges, there seems to be enough room for you guys and potentially more, almost as if like, you know, this is made for like larger groups of people going between the places. Whew. As you guys have made it here, if Lee was here, he would be able to go and scavenge you guys some food.
Oh.
And things of that nature, but unfortunately he is not here, and I have yet to give you guys the thing that gives you guys the stuff from your Vizier cards that basically let you do that thing. But
I mean, well, it's there, but I can't do
but
much.
because I am planning on giving that to you guys, I will say, if you guys would like to try to go around and try to scavenge for anything, you definitely can. We will treat it just as if it was Lee's ability to find things. If you guys would like to potentially train your Pokemon, you definitely can. If you guys would like to go off in search of other Pokemon, you can. If you guys like to cook something, you can. Any of the skills you guys have to use, you guys can do whatever you guys want to do. Just let me know what goes on and when you guys are vulnerable enough for like a Deoxys to show up and murder you.
I
Excellent.
sit my butt down and I sing Biggie a song.
There you go.
I think I might try to train with Colonel a little bit.
Okay.
I want to train with Vegeta.
Okay.
That's not going to go terribly wrong in the forest.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about
It's
it.
fine. It's fine.
You know, Evelyn, we should train together. That'll be great. We'll have a mock battle.
Yeah, you'll
I'm
just
bird against your nut.
you'll yeah, just train with somebody else so you have even less alone time with your Pokemon. Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm kidding.
I'm playing with you.
I'll have
Don't
alone
listen to
time with
me.
my
Don't
Pokemon.
listen to me. I'm playing with you.
Don't listen to God.
Rule number one,
What
never
does he
listen
know?
to God.
What does he know?
What does he know about my bird? He knows nothing.
Knows nothing of the prince of all fletchlings.
Is it in here? Search? No, it's not in here. Is it in here? Search? It's not in here either. Where the crap are you? Are you one of the other things that exploded today? I hope you're not one of the other things that exploded today, because that'd be a little sad. Curses. Foiled again, you see.
And so we had no interruptions the whole time because something got exploded.
No, I'm fine. I'm looking for it. You guys do your thing. So, Evelyn. While I'm looking through literally nothing at this point, what is it? What is it you would like to do with Colonel? What is it you would like to train with Colonel about? Like, what's going on there?
His well, I'm debating to do a thing that's low or a thing that's high, because you have to train a few times
Yeah,
to get
several
a stat
times.
up, right?
Yes, several times.
So, I guess
go.
I'll go for his.
So just to remind people of the ability that I was talking of for like foraging, you guys can try to gather rations. You can try to find some different rations from around camp for people or Pokemon, so you guys can get any sort of like food items and things like that. Or you guys can attempt to see if you can go and scavenge around for items. Both of those are things that Lee was able to do. That Lee only ever used for gathering rations. just letting you guys know that is something you guys will be able to do. But anyway, so you looking at your stuff again to reiterate the training things. You usually have to train something around 3 times to get it to go up a stat. However, depending on how well you train, it could go like faster or slower, things of that nature. I will say, out of all of the stats, the easiest one to train, quote unquote, is individuality.
Oh, you can train that?
You can spend time with your Pokemon. Is basically what that is.
Oh.
It's basically
do
what
that then.
training is with that.
I'll do that then.
You want to just spend some time with Colonel?
Yeah. Maybe we can like disguise it as like contextualize it as like, oh, they're training together and stuff.
Oh,
like
definitely.
That.
Like you basically spending time with them is doing stuff that Pokemon would like to do.
Yeah.
So as you bring out Colonel, you guys are watching as Chemo and Reina and are just like are kind of getting some firewood for things and like throwing them down. Sherry is being very useful, obviously. Hanging out with Heracross.
I refuse to not call her Hero Cross.
Hero Cross. Just name her. Let's just name her Hero.
I think that's already. Her Hero Cross is her name right now.
We'll just name her Hero. Perfect.
The hero.
And
You name her an
Sherry named her that.
Iglesias.
Sherry named her that as a joke. You see. Anyway.
It's a joke. It's good.
As that's going on, if you want some one-on-one time with Colonel, one-on-one time isn't very good with all the other Pokemon you have.
Yeah.
So what are they gonna do? They just gonna hang out and get some firewood or whatever?
Patchy can like forage for stuff if he wants. I know he likes to do that.
You're just gonna. I'm just making sure you're just gonna let them do their own, go like their own devices, or are you gonna put in your Pokeballs?
I'll probably.
or-
I don't want to leave Dusty alone, so I'll probably like leave him with like Keanu.
You join the
They-
pile. Welcome to Baby Squad.
Join Baby Squad.
There
And,
we
yeah.
go. There we go. And you know, Chemo's also gathering things, so there you go. There you go, Keanu. Keanu is babysitting right now.
I have my babies.
So
Yeah.
you make your way out to hang out with Colonel a little bit. You just kind of like go off to the side. Colonel basically upon coming out looks very expectantly towards you. You understand what Colonel's all about at this point. You know that Colonel's more about kind of doing exercise and bettering himself and things like that. So, but you attempt to try to quote unquote spar and mess around with Colonel to get him to think that he's doing some good work and things of that nature. As you're doing this, I would like you to please, since you are doing this kind of thing with Colonel would be very much into like, again, jumping up and down, doing exercises, things of that nature, training in his thoughts. So I would like you to first off roll me for your endurance.
Okay.
To see
hacking.
if you can keep up with the Colonel.
Actually, yeah, that's good. 2 inspiration.
Okay.
Actually, there you go.
Perfect.
And her endurance is not great, so. And I want this to happen. Oh, that was very. I was almost
was
very
almost
good
an 18.
twice.
Oh,
You got this.
oh. Hey, that's a lot
Okay,
better.
Okay.
So Evelyn, this kind of stuff isn't really your forte. Whenever you were back at home, like you liked going off into the Seafoam Isle, like into the Seafoam caves and things like that, and you liked exploring a little bit, but you weren't one for repetitive exercises and doing things for a long amounts of time. As C-Dot is basically like jumping and like keeping himself going and like doing like little twists and things, you're like trying to do like twists and things, touching your toes, jumping and things like that, and you're getting winded a little bit. But you're able to keep up with him. You're able to make your way through until he gets to a point where he stops. As he's like kind of watching you near the end, you finish your reps that you want to do, and by the end of it, Colonel seems very pleased with the activity that you and him were doing.
Yay.
As this is Colonel's first time doing this with individuality, you only have to train that twice to lower it, other than 3 times with the other ones. So let me get you a thing.
expected it to be more, honestly.
He seemed to, with you doing that very very easily with him. He's very much into it. He's very happy seeing you put in the effort to defend and attack to your heart's desire to make your body strong.
I love him.
There we go.
He is my son.
End 1 of 2. If you were to get low, then of course this training wouldn't really work. And if you would have got high, like let's say like a 20, then it would have basically just been like, yeah, that was both of the trainings.
Counts as yeah.
Yeah. So right now you are at 1 of 2 as far as individuality is concerned. He seems very 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 much more approachable to you. He's not like kind of being very huffy, but he is still keeping his distance a bit.
Okay.
He's doing you guys are doing your thing. He seemed impressed.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
as you guys do your little exercises, eventually, because that is something that we've put in character that Sherry likes to do, she comes and joins you guys.
Yay! Now
Heroes
I get to
just
boost his
kinda-
strength, right?
Hero's just kind of hanging out there. No, she came near the end of it. She tells you, hey, maybe we can do morning calisthenics together. Yeah. But as that's going on, the other... What are you doing? What are you doing, Goth?
It's the source of her power, Leader B.
Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice.
What do you mean? We're making her stronger.
You're sacrificing the fire to her.
She shoots like a solar beam into the sky.
You're sacrificing the fire to Goth. It's fine.
It's fun.
But no, Lee, not Lee, blah. Varric, you said you wanted to hang out with Vegeta.
Yeah, I want to go out and train with my boy. But first, I also want to use my Pokedex on him, because I don't really get to use it that often.
This is a bird. I'm kidding. Thanks a lot, Dexter.
Thanks, Dex.
All right, I yeeted my phone across the fucking... Yeah, okay, let me get it.
The tiny robin Pokemon. Although Fletchling chirp is quite beautiful to hear, it is relentlessly tough to those who enter its territory.
I was gonna give you a random one of the things from it, and kind of like figure out which one of the ones I was gonna give more kind of emphasis on. But hey, if Keanu wants to do it, go ahead.
That's just Keanu
Just
sounding that off.
snaps to attention, goes cross-eyed. says that-
He just collapses because that was too much smart.
Especially considering the distance, like he just yells this out loud.
He just starts foaming at the mouth, and his eyes roll into the back of his head.
Sorry, babies. That was weird.
So, you get that.
Hooray.
Fletchling, this one seems very much, from what you can tell, this Fletchling seems very proud, very, you've been around him. He's very much proud and avoidance of you in particular. It seemed like before when you had caught it was kind of the alpha Fletchling. And now it seems to have to be subservient to you, and that's one of the reasons why it's all like not really liking you and things of that nature. You're getting some things looking at it, but at the same time, you're not really 100% sure what to do as far as like hanging out with Fletchling by yourselves. What do you want to try to do? Like trying to do this. Do you want to train with Fletchling? Do you want to work with its individuality, which is what I think you're wanting to do? What do you want to do with this? And while you're thinking about it, Burnt Berries gave 2,000 bits.
2,000 bits?
Says, I think Varric could use some more inspiration. Inspiration to Jess. And I'm kidding. He didn't say that last part.
I was gonna say, God damn it, not again.
That was me. I'm sorry.
Oh. Thank you.
I believe that's
Sky of inspiration that we have here.
8, 9, I think that's 10. I think 2,000 is 10, right? Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
That's 10 inspiration. Heck yeah. Thank you very much, Burnt Berries. We appreciate it. Also, any amount to knock the tyrannical ruler off of his throne. He'll never leave. Eclipse has gone down to maybe half at one point, and then it's just went back up because he keeps healing himself. It's crazy, guys. He's never gonna be dethroned. Either way.
It's been 8,000 years.
He's been there for weeks. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna leave unless something huge happens.
With that being said, what do you want to do with Vegeta?
Now, I do want to train his individuality, so it's less so he listens to me. But I also already have his attack and his HP training up.
Don't make that
I
noise
see
whenever
what
I'm zoomed up in your face.
I did not know you were doing that.
I don't know why, but for some reason I love zooming up and just getting as close as I can to fucking Varric's lips. Like, look at how she, look at those lips.
Those are some pretty tasty looking lips.
Look at those lips.
Posh boy.
Look at
living.
those
PSLs.
lips. Probe.
They're
they're
pretty
tasty.
lips.
Practicing that blue steel.
That's up to you. You can try to go for some actual training. Try to go for some of that actual training instead. There's also like the HP training still as well.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I got the HP, I got the attack. Although I don't think fletchlings are physical attackers. I'm pretty sure they're more special attacks. I think
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
pretty
from,
sure.
like,
I'm pretty sure you got the attack just from the morning calisthenics.
Yeah, from the morning calisthenics. I guess I'll do some training with him by going out and finding some Pokemon.
You want? Okay, so you're saying so many different things. All right.
I'm sorry. How I know the games to work is when I want to train my Pokemon.
No.
I
So
go out and go fight some Pokemon.
So what I had given you the options of doing
I'm sorry that I'm
was
dumb.
either you could go try to find some Pokemon. You
Mhm.
could try to train your Pokemon. Which is from all the training things we've done from the game started is mostly just like, you know, actually spending time with Pokemon and training them to do certain things. Kind of like how the anime does it. Like if they ever want to like learn a new move and stuff like that, they're like, all right, let's fucking do it 1,000 times against this tree. Oh, you did it. Now you can use that forever. You know, it's like,
Hooray.
that's the kind of training there is. If you want to find Pokemon, you can find Pokemon, but that's not kind of how the training works.
All right, I'll just
The
train
way
this
that I
individual
see the
out.
real world working, really, as far as the Pokemon world is concerned, I don't like thinking that trainers literally walk up to hundreds of Pokemon a day and knock them out and walk away.
Yeah, that is pretty fair, but I mostly was like, oh well, if I have some battle experience, it'll listen to me more.
Yeah,
I'll just train its individuality. I'll just do that.
you want to hang out
with
with it? How you want to hang out with it? How do you want to go about it? Because again, unlike Evelyn kind of knows what Colonel's all about. What do you want to do with Vegeta? How do you want Vegeta to have some good times with you?
I don't know that much about Vegeta other than that he's a really proud boy. So maybe I could just spend the time praising him for being the best fletchling in the world.
Oh, you're so great, you're so great, Vegeta. Look at you. You're so amazing. I love you.
You know, Ember, that's amazing for a fletchling.
Fuck you, Professor Thaddeus.
Is that what you want to try to do?
Fucking. I mean, that's pretty much all I've got at the moment that I can think
Okay.
of because I don't know Vegeta that well.
It's perfectly fine.
So.
You attempt to try to bring out Fletchling, and you like do the thing like where you put your hands together, and you're like, oh, you're such a great bird. Pretty bird. Man, you can kick people's asses all over this mountain. Whatever made that noise that took out Tropius, you could probably even take out Tropius. You're great. Go ahead and roll me that charisma, my dude.
Oh, hey, Charisma, the other thing that I'm really good at.
You're trying to talk him up, man. That's all I can think.
Yep, here we go. Let's go with 2 inspiration. Let's do this shit. Come on, nat 20. That's a 6. That's an 11. That's a 16. That's pretty good. And finally, so 6.
So Fletchling, oh, not Fletchling. Yeah, actually Fletchling. I almost there's a Farfetch that came in, and now I'm confused. Anyway, so Fletchling is very much enjoying the kind of praise you're giving. It doesn't look like it's trying to show it on its face, but it does seem to be like, oh yeah, praise me more.
His pride as a fletchling warrior demands praise.
If people don't tell him how great he is, how's everyone supposed to know how great he is? Like, come on.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know how you know how great he is, but hey, you know, maybe word got out.
I mean, you've told me that that's how what I see him of what he is. He seems like a very proud boy.
He usually keeps to himself and thinks that you are definitely not worth his time. So yeah, he's a very proud boy, from what you can tell. You seem like you've gotten as far as you can with words, though. However, with him, you're not sure if this same type of training will do in the future. However, it seemed he seemed to be very much very interested in getting that until he got tired of it, and then he kind of laid down, and you're like, okay, that's probably enough.
All right, that's enough. There we go. That's perfect. That's good. Oh, it's a 1 out of 2 for individuality.
Yep.
Ooh.
Individuality. I just said that to Eric. It goes by 1 of 2s. However,
I'm sorry.
unlike with Eric, you can't do this again with Fletchling. If you try to do the
Right.
same thing you just did with Fletchling, he probably won't care.
Alrighty, that's perfectly fine.
'Kay.
I will figure this out better.
All right, April, what are you wanting to do during this rest?
You know what? I'm feeling adventurous. Let's go out and see if Pokemon are around.
You gonna try to go out and find Pokemon?
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do. April, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You have all your stuff on you, right?
I probably do.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So this
Somebody about to get their eyes pecked out by a Farfetch'd.
So April, you go off. I'm guessing that Cookie and Castellette and Milkshake are coming with you. What about Goth? Is Goth coming with you, or is she just laying in the
I'll have to
fire?
come where she can continue. I will
Get
welcome her
toasty.
if she wants to come, but I will also respect her needs.
She
to burn the
steps out.
fire.
She steps out from the fire and just walks toward.
Okay.
Wonderful.
It's a very cinematic moment, you see. But you go off and you start kind of looking for Pokemon. As you start looking for Pokemon, Cookie kind of looks around off toward the north, toward the caves a bit. Sir Castillette's of course kind of sticking with you, but eventually he kind of flies a little bit away from you, kind of keeping an eye out. Milkshake has sat somewhere.
He is somewhere. I don't know where he's gone.
He's getting used to the fact that he's a water type now, and he's looking at the water and kind of kicking his feet in it. He's water type.
He's being
I
more
can
emotive.
swim now.
It's he's being more emotive. Look at him. Bibero.
You do.
Kick water, kick water, kick water.
Bibero.
Just in the distance, Evelyn's hears a very faint Bidoof.
And Goth is just at this point also oh, water, no thank you, and it's just kind of you wandered around as these Pokemon are kind of a little bit away from you and kind of looking at their own things and doing their own things for the time being, for the moment. No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I will never worry about anything you ever do. It's
Don't
fine.
worry about it. Everything's cool. That's a big ass Farfetch'd. Hold on.
That's a weird fucking duck.
It's actual size.
There we go.
That's a weird fucking cat.
I would like you to please roll me for your perception.
Yo, what kind of dog is that?
Yeah, that's a weird
Ma!
dog.
There's this weird fucking cat outside.
I rolled. No.
What was that?
Looks like
What was all together? Did you get?
That altogether, it's a plus. Perception is 4. It's 12.
12. All right, give me 1 second. Come here, you.
Well, it's going
back,
to show
don't
up
worry
in my
about
house.
You gotta keep it away from Milkshake. Oh, don't you worry, Milkshake. You just wait right there. Everything's fine.
April, as
Yeah?
you are watching your Pokemon go off and do their things, you're keeping an eye out for Pokemon yourself. You don't really seem to notice, but something has done a thing, and ducks, well, they're known to be very, very, very light and buoyant, you see. So you don't even notice when this thing has grabbed onto your bag. Unzips your bag and takes a thing. You notice upon it seemingly taking the thing, some weight leave your bag. You look back as you see a bird taking a leak from your bag.
That is a weird Bidoof. Oh my god.
As this bird looks back to you, holding the leek aloft in its hands, it seems to narrow its eyes and hold the leek in front of it, two winging the leaf, or the leek, and is just like holding it in a sword-like stance ahead of it. It's ready to fight against you.
Wait. We're fighting with food items? Okay, I guess food items. I guess I bring out this weird bread-shaped Pokemon food.
You just bring out a loaf
It's
of
like
fucking
super
bread.
stale.
You just bring out a loaf of fucking bread, and you're like, ah! You have a sword right here, and you're like, nah. This is how I want to live my life.
Listen, if you like have a dog and the dog approaches you with like a rubber duck, do you pull a knife on the dog?
It's a bird with a stick.
That's
Oh,
a
God.
stick. That is a leek.
This thing looks to you, however, you have drawn a weapon. The others seem to like come towards you, like they're ready to do things. But April, you have drawn a weapon. Milkshake's still over here. As you have drawn this weapon, do you want to tell your Pokemon to do anything, or do you want to do something?
Well, I'm gonna stick with this grave of duck for myself. Let's fight. All right, I'm going to fight.
All right, I need you to roll me for your dex to determine where you are in this initiative. You will be going second. As you have drawn your own blade, and your Pokemon have surrounded the area, but the Farfetch'd is stalwart. He's standing there very steadfast in his initiative for how he's going to be taking down your advances. He decides to instead attack first. Because this is fine. As he seems to let out the leek in his hands, slightly giving off a bit of a glow as he rushes forward and strikes into you with a very light attack. It barely hurts at all as he goes to attack you. Let's see if it actually does damage or if it just hits you. I'm gonna roll against your endurance. What is your endurance right now?
My endurance right now is 4.
Okay, he has to beat a 14. He beats a 14. He does hit. You take 1 damage.
My bones!
As he baps you with this leek, you don't take it. Doesn't. You've fought against Pokemon before. You've been shot at. You've been punched. This thing barely hurt you at all. As it baps you with this leek.
My bones!
As it baps you with this leek, you don't feel hardly anything.
My bones!
What would you like to do?
Strike with my price of bread.
All right, roll me for your strength.
The bread just like breaks in half as you swing it. Doesn't even hit.
You have to beat a 50. You have to. Oh no! I was about to say you have to beat a 15, but okay. So you're gonna crit with bread. You have the legendary Bread Brederson in your hands, and you are ready to strike forth. As you have brought this holy Brederson into your hands, you rush forward and strike against the Farfetch'd. As you do, you crit the Farfetch'd, dealing a grand total of how much strength do you have?
Like what?
2. You do a grand total of 14 damage with bread, which honestly is very good for hitting someone with a loaf of bread.
Note to self, don't anger her in the kitchen.
Because you nat 20'd, the bread does not snap in half as you do this as well. You have studied the art of the blade. You know the extent of the power in your hands. The Farfetch'd backs off, holding its blade in hand, seemingly encircling as you circle the other direction around it. You guys are sizing each other up. This is okay.
My bread fell. Hold on. There you
It's gonna go for another attack. As it rushes towards you, it's going to roll again to try to beat a 14.
Okay.
Is April gonna die to a duck?
It hits the 14. As it strikes you, the leak in its hand seems to glow again, and this time it hits with a bit more force. You take 2 damage.
Ow, my bones.
She might die to a duck.
It's using Fury Cutter.
Okay. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna just keep using this.
It's an attack that gets stronger the more it's used.
I mean, yeah, I know that, but does you think April knows?
Nope, that's why I haven't told you before now. As it strikes and then backs away.
Is April really about to fucking get killed by a bird? And get with a leak?
Well, I'm not giving up now. I'm an honorable battle. I'm gonna just continue doing this until the bread snaps.
Okay, go for a strength. This is the grandest battle.
That's
8
iron.
8 plus 2. You do not hit. As you go forth and strike again with the bread, it seems to parry with the leak and push you away.
Ah! Honorable foe.
As it's gonna go for one last Fury Cutter. It might No, it doesn't. It has a really high attack stat.
Whoops.
I'm gonna roll for its individuality really quick. I'm gonna see if it does something else. Okay. It sees you, and as it strikes against you, you will take a damage. However, you fall, but you do not fall unconscious.
My
as
bones.
As it has used false swipe.
Ah, my bones.
It leaves you conscious. As it feels that it has thoroughly defeated you.
It's true. It's true. I will accept this. I will break apart the Pokemon food. I will break it in half.
It swishes its leak around and then attempts to stow it away samurai style, but there's nothing to stow it into, so it just grabs it again.
It keeps holding it. My Pokemon food's baguette in half and hand one half over.
You try to hand
With
off
my
the
very-
Pokemon food. It looks to you.
Oh, boy.
It looks to you very, very suspiciously, but as it has already defeated you in battle, like it hops over towards you.
Has nothing to fear.
It takes the Pokemon food in hand and just kind of tosses it up and clamps its beak down on top of the half of Pokemon food.
Ah.
As it does this, it looks to you, it gives a nod, it puts the leak in its mouth, and it begins to fly upwards.
I will cry. It's beautiful.
It seems to not be very hostile towards you any longer, as it did not murder you, you see.
It could have stabbed me in the stomach with that leak.
It seems to fly off into the trees. Potentially it will return. Who is to say when?
That's April's rival. There he goes.
Drunk the road
So April, you've maybe potentially gotten a little bit closer with a random Pokemon in the woods. Your other Pokemon are very worried about you because you just got bapped with a leak until you fell over. You don't have any wounds. There are no wounds here, but
I must deliver my inheritance.
eventually, just like as you're laying there catching breath, Milkshanks just kind of like waltzes over and just plops like the upper half of its body onto you and just lays there. Milkshake, you're too big. You're not a lap Pokemon anymore. Stop.
My poor samurai legs.
You're gonna catch your breath for a couple of minutes before returning to the group.
Yeah, he's gonna let Milkshake have the other half.
He will eat it while still being plopped on you. So Keanu, you have the baby squad with you. You are here at the fire with everyone. What would you like to do for your rest? What would you like to accomplish while you're sitting here for the night?
Nothing.
Just wanna hang out?
Yeah, thinking of my babies.
You don't want to hang out with any Pokemon in particular? Try to give it some individuality bonuses or anything like that? Maybe try to hang out with Biggie and find out any sort of traumas that it may have.
I am singing to Biggie, but beyond that, the rest of them are free to chill. I'm babysitting them. Barring little yeah, who's his own whatever it is.
Okay, shall we say that for gameplay reasons you are hanging out with Biggie?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you doing with Biggie and the others who are there as well?
Yeah, I'm singing Biggie a song, and I'm just basically cuddling the fuck out of it.
You're singing Biggie a song. Biggie, contrary to popular belief, Biggie doesn't always like full on cry. Sometimes he's just sniffling. Sometimes he's just sniffling or looking forlornly at things until he's brought into any sort of social situation in which he starts crying. As you were sitting there with Biggie, singing at him, at first he was whining. Now he's just kind of like lightly sniffling. I would like you to go ahead, since you're singing to him, roll me for that charisma, my dude.
Charisma, that's me. I'm Keanu, charisma boy.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. You sit there, you hang out with the others. You're hanging out with Biggie. Biggie seems to look up towards you and kind of understand that you're not being mean to him. You're not being mean right now. He seems to stop his sniffles for a moment. If only for a moment. And as he's doing that, I'll go ahead and give you the individuality bonus for him, which is the 1/2 on there. I'm gonna give you an addition one though, because you can't minus from 0 at this point.
Oh, a -1 individuality.
It can't survive
ever. Literally die if I'm not there.
I want do that anyway.
I want you to need me so much that literally you will perish. It seems to be slightly sniffling every now and then, but this is some of the longest times you've seen Biggie where he's not forlornly staring at something or sniffling or full on crying. He's getting used to you guys. It's only taken a fucking like almost a month at this point, but he's getting used to you guys.
Nerd.
It's fine. You remember upon meeting Biggie back at the Pokemon Center with him potentially having gotten like bullied or something by another Pokemon you guys never looked into.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Man,
Because you guys decided to go underground.
Well, at least now we're looking for a Pokemon. That'll be fine.
That
We're looking
fucking
for a-
Medicham is still terrorizing that town.
I'm sure someone got it.
I feel so bad because like Biggie was going to get like an individuality buff by confronting that thing.
Oh no!
But he's just been
In that
crying ever
permanent
since.
Sad boy mode.
Well, I
Guys?
know we gotta go back.
No. We have to be better from now on. We cannot forget that we have to find the evolved Baniri that's shiny, and we can't forget that mission.
The shiny Lopunny.
The shiny Lopunny, yes.
What?
That was the Pokemon that you kept feeling like, is it weird? That's the Heartness test thing.
What?
So you sit there singing Kumbaya or something to the Pokemon while all the girls go off and get fucking firewood and things like that. And coming back and just hanging out. You're just babysitting all the Pokemon. Eventually, like, Happy comes and joins you, and Bubbles is here, and Patchy just kind of comes over, and just lazily, like, floating around. Shooter's just, like, over here somewhere. Cena's just plopped in front of the fire, and just, like, everybody's just like, is he gonna do anything? Nah, he's busy. He's fine.
He does his best, probably.
At this point, eventually, you know, through the efforts of Reina and Chemo, they're able to get things going down. You guys have like your different foods and things that you guys have for just going on. At this point, because April did not make any food, you guys aren't going to be getting any bonuses for food for the next day.
I'm sorry, my bones broke.
No, that's fine. You did perfectly fine, in my opinion.
Samurai bones.
You guys notice as everybody comes back, April comes back being helped forward by Milkshake.
What happened?
My paper. Paper.
He's just like carrying her above his head.
April, are you alright?
You guys
What?
notice there's he's just walking, just holding her above his head and just plops her down. That's the
Oh, she gets paid in milk.
Hey guys!
What
She's a
happened?
milkshake.
I found a weird Bidoof in the woods, and it took my leak, and we sword fought, and then I lost.
Are bees from here?
So what you mean is you found a Farfetch'd, I assume.
That sounds a little out there, man.
Farfetch'd aren't Bidoofs. Probably.
Mom, there's this weird Bidoof outside.
It just seems like a story that seems like pretty unbelievable.
Did you win?
I don't know if there's a
No.
word.
Did you catch a new Pokemon?
Did you learn about life? And
A loaf of bread?
do you want some of my Pokemon food?
I would appreciate it, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, let's get the
The only thing I
Pokemon
got
off
hurt.
head.
The only thing that got hurt was my pride. It's fine.
I get that.
Kiana just gives you a loaf of bread.
All of this
Oh.
for a loaf of bread.
With your new stale baguette sword, you are ready for whenever he should return again.
I guess this one is slightly less stale, but I have to make sure it stays stale.
You have
Yeah,
to you have
none
to
of
we
it
have to like
happy.
preserve the stale.
But I kind of realized that, like, in a battle royale of all the babies here, Patchy's probably the one that would win.
He is a tough boy.
I mean, my babies are really tough. It's just they'd all kind of obliterate each other, and then Patchy would just finish off probably the water types that are left. Considering that seems pretty likely.
Yeah, it's just looking here, just looking at looking over all of them, and as Yeah is looking over all of them, Yeah is just gonna point at Larvesta.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, never mind.
Oh.
I stand
He has-
corrected.
He has just chosen which one of them would be the victor if they fought. Somehow, you guys immediately understand that if they fought, now Larvesta would win.
Ah.
Glowing eye.
Huh.
You can't
I
help
hate it.
you can't help but agree with him as Evelyn steps on the fire.
Oh, that's where that was. Yeah.
Sacrifice, sacrifice.
Sacrifice, sacrifice,
Well.
sacrifice. Mother and daughter, sacrifice.
It's my fire.
It's mealtime.
I will sustain you all.
My life will go on in all of you.
The age of fire can go on for another millennia.
God dang it.
Thank you, chosen undead.
God dang it. But at this point, you guys have all gotten together. You have eaten some of your breads and trail mixes and all that good stuff. You've given the Pokemon some food as well. I would like for everybody to please get rid of any bonuses they have currently for food. So all of the bonuses you guys potentially would have currently are gone if you've been keeping track of them, which I think only one of you have been keeping track of them.
Because I'm a good boy and I have negatives in my stats where I put.
But at that point, you guys will be heading off to sleep, heading off to dreams. As you guys are doing so, I would like to have each of you guys roll me some dreamy stats. So I would like for the four of you to roll me for your endurances, please.
Oh, that sounds
boy,
like a dream
endurance.
stat. Let's go.
Let's go ahead and just use them for my new inspiration because I just can't not use them when I have them. You know?
My grandma is taking it.
It's like a drug. It's like a drug that you just have to use them. That's a 13. And then next up,
I found Biggie. He was
So
under
13.
Maryland's Never Melt Ice.
His tears froze into his face.
As you just like see Biggie and like you look at the other Biggie and you're like, wait a minute.
And then it turns into a Zubat.
I see you've seen through my disguise.
Anywho, we'll get rid of this one.
Have to add I'm baby to OG Biggie.
Perfect. So what did you got a
13.
13? I believe you got a 2. I saw that. What did Evelyn get?
She got a 15.
Okay, and what did Keanu get?
What am I rolling again?
Endurance.
Biggie distracted me.
Okay.
15.
Throughout the night, things are rather well. You're a little bit restless, April. Maybe it's because all your bones are broken.
All of them.
But you just kind of like lay there, kind of watching some of the last like little embers leave from the fireplace, the campfire. You're watching like as you hear like the cries of some bug Pokemon off in the distance. You notice like looking over toward Keanu as he's sleeping very soundly, like there's just like a Zubat like sitting beside of him that just flew down there and just like looks at him and then flies away.
Oh, nice.
It's just like, oh look, there's a guy. All right, bye. Does he have a silver wing? What the hell? I mean, I'm kidding.
Is he a chosen one?
As this is going by, you go to try to drift off to sleep, April. However, you feel very strange. You feel very, as you do. Evelyn, while you're sleeping, for some reason you get a weird ringing in your ears, and you sleep through it. You're fine, but like maybe you'll remember that when you wake up, that like there was some sort of weird ringing and stuff going on last night. April, as you notice, as you're having some trouble laying down and sleeping, you notice that Milkshake just kind of like crawls over. And as he crawls over, he looks to you, notices how much of a effort you're putting in to do things, noticing you're kind of having some problems, as you just see him exert his pressure. Upon doing so, that weird uncomfortable feeling you have seems to go away as you are able to drift off to sleep.
Okay.
This'll
However-
push your eyelids closed.
However, as that does happen, Bidoof, upon doing this for the night, since you rolled pretty low on your endurance, unfortunately, since Bidoof will have to do this several times throughout the night to make sure you sleep through, he will have a negative to his defense and special defense today.
Yeah, that makes sense. You must be tired as fuck.
He basically stays up the entire night, stopping whatever this noise is from affecting any of you guys.
Oh, what a good boy.
Aw.
Cause he's like,
What
this is
a
something that I can potentially do, maybe. Also, Bieberel.
Beaverell.
Also,
They can never know
also
my
be
real
Bidoof.
intelligence.
I just picture those periods where he like turns off pressure, sits there, looks up, turns it back on,
I must
Looks
forever
down.
play the fool. They must
stares at
never
his
know.
feet.
As soon as he just sees like Evelyn like kind of like do like a bit of a twitch of her like face or whatever, he's like, oh, it happened again.
As soon as Patchy shoots up in the middle of the night.
Patchy just looks over, sees a black aura surrounding him. Two
Let me just
pinprick
really-
eyes
oh.
glistening in the firelight.
Milkshake's fine. Anyway,
Is Litleo sleeping in the fire?
Litleo's sleeping near the fire. In fact, right now there's only embers, so actually maybe on the fire. There's only embers now, and they're like, whatever, sleep.
In my bags.
Is warm, so I sit.
Is warm, so I sit. Take that Pokemon food over there. As you guys go through that, no Pokemon seem to come over to you guys throughout the night after those encounters. Mostly because at this point, no Pokemon would dare fucking get near people exerting his pressure during the night. So
Black dome.
Like, he's like a tiny hut, only more powerful.
you all wake up, feeling somewhat refreshed from your sleep through the night. Evelyn, you remember again hearing some sort of ringing through the night, but yeah, you were able to get to bed. It didn't really bother you too much. There was like a 15-minute period where like you were like half awake, half asleep, and then it stopped, and you're like, okay.
You guys ever realized that like morning is just nighttime in reverse?
Wow. That's
Good
crazy.
morning.
Good morning, Keanu. By the way, there was another noise last night.
I would assume so. We're in the forest surrounded by Pokemon.
No, like the one that was like giving Tropius a hard time.
I
Oh,
wake up
okay.
and I see if
Sure,
Fletchling's
what
still
if it's
there,
My
'cause I
bones
didn't put him
creaking
away.
again.
Is Patchy doing okay?
Apache's fine.
Okay.
Well, what
It's
about,
almost,
what
as
about
if there was
Fletchling?
it's almost as if there was something that protected all of you
Oh,
through the
yeah.
night.
The thing you just said, and I forgot about
Yeah, the thing you
instantaneously.
just said. I'm glad my boy is
I
still
guess
here.
it'll be a mystery.
Oh, what happened?
Why is Goth Shy Girl like burned on her tummy?
That's what she does to stay hydrated.
What?
Oh, okay.
That literally doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you suck out the fire.
It's just
juice.
like you're happy to see Fletchling. You're like, oh, Fletchling stayed throughout the night. Meanwhile, as we have like a flashback through the night of Fletchling like about to fly off, but then Beeperl just looks over and like exerts pressure and it falls to the ground.
And, like, it just goes up and beats up another Fletchling and just puts that one there.
Just goes and takes just a new Fletchling.
Vegeta, what happened to you? Why do you get this black eye?
Fletchling tries to fly away, and just like as it looks back, there's no Beeberl on the ground. It turns around as it's like 60 feet in the air, and Beeberl's just there in the air in front of it, baps it into the ground.
Nutty.
Beaveril, what it hears? Hardo 63.
I thought that April was the Soul Reaper.
What?
It's her Pokemon.
It's like
I can't see it, my bone's
her
breaking.
Bibarel is the Yachiru to April.
Ah, gotcha. So, as all of this was going on, you guys again wake up pretty restful from your encounters outside. This is only the second time you guys have camped out,
It's true.
Oh.
and there was no Zubats, no anything.
This
Yeah.
isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm gonna be real. I like camping out in Alola more because it usually involves hammocks.
Oh,
we
that
get
sounds
beach?
nice.
Can we get a hammock
Can we get a hammock and go to
Camping out on the
Alola?
beach sounds super fun.
and
And
go
snow
to
cones?
Alola?
Can you fit an entire campsite into a single Pokeball?
Can we go home? I miss my grandma.
She's great. She makes cookies sometimes when I visit her at the home. Well, whenever she's actually at the home, because she breaks out a lot. Sometimes she just comes to like our house, which is nice because Dad's not there.
Yo, Keanu, I get that.
Last time she visited,
I just
she
want to
made-
assume now. I just want to assume now that Keanu is just the grown-up version of the trainer from Sun and Moon. of like your trainer from Sun and Moon.
Oh,
It's like Dad's never around, so whatever.
yeah, it's different around here.
Tells me
Anywho.
I have to go to college, and then he goes and buys milk.
Doesn't take that
April,
long to
who
buy,
owns
Dad.
the restaurants he used to work at, asking for a friend.
What?
Don't worry, Beth.
Hmm.
It was a silly
Okay.
thing to ask.
Keanu is actually the champion of Alola, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm like the champion of that region, and I should probably fight that wolf guy on the top of Mount Silver.
Let me go get my other team.
She just go to a Pokemon Center, come back with like a bunch of Ubers. They all are just standing there, all of them exerting pressure similar to Bibarel. As everyone's waking up, do you guys want to do anything in the morning? Do you guys want to do any sort of training in the morning, or do you guys want to head out immediately to
I
Mahogany
give
Town?
every
Morning
single
calisthenics.
Pokemon a smooch on the head.
I'd be down doing a little more, I guess.
Okay. If you guys would like to have Sherry do the morning calisthenics, that would mean as many Pokemon as you guys want. She could potentially try to train in. I believe it was looking over here. I believe it was HP and attack. Yeah.
Well, I think Biggie's got like some. He's got some sore spots in his hands, so he could probably stretch those out.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm probably just
me
gonna
look.
put all of my Pokemon.
It's gonna. I'm reading Sherry's thing. It's 2 Pokemon each.
Oh,
You guys can put 2 Pokemon each plus any random other Pokemon that are around. So at this point, it would be Tungsten is a random other Pokemon around.
He just,
Cena is
how
a
does
random
Tungsten
Pokemon
do
around.
morning calisthenics? I
He
wonder.
lifts it up. He lifts himself up with his tongue.
It's about the only thing he can do.
After all.
So you guys can do your own stuff. Bulbasaur will do morning calisthenics.
I'm gonna
Biggie,
put up
you
Tressa
know-
and
Order
Vegeta.
for you to get strong.
You're one of those Pokemon, Biggie, where I'm like, I'm glad I found you, because I'm pretty sure you'd just die if you were in the wild. How do you eat?
With its mouth.
Smash your face into things and hope you get it right.
So you want Pachirisu and Bubbles?
Yeah, I was gonna do some more training with Colonel, with Evelyn doing that.
Oh, well, that's not gonna be something we do in the morning.
Oh, it's not something to do? Okay, then.
Yeah,
we
this
probably
is literally just like because this is Sherry's like thing.
would. Okay, then I guess. Yeah.
Would
This,
you like
this
to-
was one of the things she got from one of the prestiges.
Oh.
I want to
Would
I want
you
to see a
smaller
sword lip.
creature?
Actually.
Okay. So as of right now, Keanu, do you want to do you have any of your Pokemon do any morning calisthenics?
Vivi Maryland.
Viva Maryland. It's just like I'm just imagining. Oh, I got it. Throws Tropius out.
She needs it.
Big stretch.
Okay. Do-do-do-do. So now knowing which ones there are. No, I'll just take these two.
Actually, you know, instead of bubbles,
It's important to
Instead
get
of
people
bubbles, go
to
Dusty.
stretch when they're young.
yeah, and
'cause
Evelyn
if
will
they
do it
stretch
with
a
them.
lot then they'll be more flexible. But if you let them grow old without doing
Boop.
lots of stretches,
Boop.
then they become all
Boop.
crotchety old
Boop.
people. My grandma tells me all about the other old
And
people at the home, and they
boop.
can't move so
Boop.
good. So if she gets in fights, she beats them up real quick.
So at this point, put these beside beside your Pokemon. If you already have them, just take one of the ones that you have and like up it to 2 out of 3. But she has successfully trained all of your Pokemon in HP and attack.
Yay!
For Honedge and Cookie, Evelyn and Vivi, Colonel and Dusty, and Tressa and Vegeta. Which Vegeta just is going to get an
Yeah, I did
addition onto his. Okay.
I did it. Yeah.
And because it was any Pokemon around, Farfetch'd also gets the. I'm kidding.
He's just in the trees, stretching, looking down at you.
I mean, if he wants to, he can.
I mean, to be fair, I would put Yaya in that, but he just, you know.
He's a
Jesus,
legendary
this
clone.
is-
Yeah.
You
Little
are just
geek.
an enigma. It's like,
I
why do you
hope that-
have to train if you can just choose to win? Also, if you can choose to win, how come I lose most times when I use you in Pokemon battles?
I like the idea of Shooter trying to do calisthenics.
He's just like twisting in the air,
Yeah, rolling around. They do a big stretch, he just flies
rolling
away.
around at the speed of sound. Got places
Glows
to go.
brighter.
Gotta follow my rainbow.
As that goes on, you guys all get yourselves ready and limber for the day, and your Pokemon all feel pretty good from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, this is something that she mostly does when you guys go camping, or you guys just don't have anything else to do. As long as you're in a somewhat safe area, and currently because of Bibarel, almost any place you guys go is a safe area. At least from
That's
just like random
nice.
wild Pokemon attacks, at least.
Can't believe I have
Wild
the portable
Pokemon
center.
attacks. You think if I go poke those raccoons, something bad will happen? I'll be right back.
It's at this point you guys gather yourselves together. You make sure that any of the last embers are dealt with on the fire. As Goth like gets up from them and looks at them like, I was having fun.
It's okay. Little pat pat.
At which point you guys begin to make your way down the road. Do-do-do-do. I believe it's just the... Nope, that's not it. You guys didn't go in the cave.
Clayton.
Eventually, you guys come up on a bit of a path. Do-do-do-do. The river from before seems to make its way winding over toward a small town off in the distance. You guys can kind of tell that town is Mahogany Town. You note now, upon seeing it, that there is a bridge here, really, really far off from where you guys had crossed the river yourselves. It would have taken several more hours to get to the other side of the bridge from where you guys are if you guys hadn't have crossed the river before.
This wasn't
Aw, man.
tactically placed.
And as you guys have made your way toward this area, you just see that the town's off in the distance. This area here, this map, was literally only here to like show you guys that I did have a bridge made up for when you guys were going down the riverside.
Oh.
Like
Mm.
you guys were literally going to be going through the forest and like crisscrossing with this river until you guys finally got to a point where you could finally cross. But like the river was snaking so much that like you're like, how come there should be more bridges? There should be some more
You know,
freaking bridges. Either way,
well,
you
I
guys have
appreciate the
made it around.
construction of this flood dam.
Mhm.
They should probably put holes in the walls or something, because if like you fell in there, like that's just no bueno. Like
You're just gone.
it's all slippery and stuff. Like you'd probably be fine if you could swim, but you'd float a long ways. I dive in. No.
I dive in.
I've had a good track record with water thus far.
Let's see what legendary I find this time.
Bet you this one's gonna be a
Just like throw
snake.
like a name at a dart.
Kyogre just in the river.
But you guys make your way from the forest side that you guys are at all the way over toward. That's why it looks weird to me. Okay, so I'd started you guys over on the right side because that was where I thought you guys should be. This is flipped.
Oh.
That's why
I
it
thought you
looks
flipped it
freaking
on
weird.
purpose.
No,
Nice.
I didn't.
I thought it was.
No,
Okay.
because you guys were supposed to be on this side if you didn't cross the river.
Okay, I got you.
Anywho, now you guys make your way forward, and that's all this map was used for, like at all.
Nice.
You can come back here and have Pokemon battles or something.
Make your way into Mahogany Town.
Oh, this place is cute.
There's not an actual like anime thing that I could find for Mahogany Town, so I just found this kind of like little tiny village.
Just from an anime.
It's
If
from
I had
an anime.
children who were also wolves, I would move here.
I've got a lot of images from wolf children for today.
Oh,
was
what
that
this
right?
is?
Hold on, let me see. What? Hold on.
If it was, then hell.
Hold
yeah.
on a second. I need to look at that.
I know that one.
Anyway.
Evelyn just starts crying, remembering that movie.
I still
Oh my
haven't
God.
seen that one.
What's wrong? It's like, I don't know.
Oh man, I love Growlithe children.
Did you know that
Like
they
Hanrock children.
modeled that show after this town? Huzzah.
You guys find your way walking through the small sections of the city, looking off further around. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people in this place, even for a small town. You notice that several of the houses you guys walk by have been boarded up, as well as, again, the only like form of any sort of like any sort of traffic you guys can see are the occasional somebody going by on like a bike or something like that. Obviously the
bike
richest of
van.
people. But
Truly.
no one really seems to be going to any of the houses or going to anything like that. They seem to be mostly heading off toward the north area where you guys suspect at this point, given what Kimo has said, is the way to the Lake of Rage.
Was there like a plague here?
Throughout the town, you guys can see that there are some advertisements around. There are some advertisements on different buildings, and some buildings that have been boarded up that seem to advertise the Rage candy bar, saying that it's all the rage.
Yo, candy.
Here's an ad for Growlithe children.
Yo, I watched that. I cried my eyes out.
Yeah, same.
It was
So-
sad how the one I can't think of the other dog
Like, was
Pokemon's name.
really about
How the
being
one
a
it's
Growlithe
really
and
it's
the
really
other one
sad how
wasn't
the
about
one
being a Growlithe?
Houndoom really wanted to be a Growlithe, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anywho.
So just nobody around.
Not
I wonder
really.
why all the buildings are boarded up.
Because of the plague, silly.
Well, it's not really because of any plague or anything, from what I can tell. It's
Oh.
just this place stopped getting a lot of tourism lately.
Oh, but it's so cute. You could have like summer camp here.
Did no one just live here?
Some people did, but once the gym leader stopped, well, doing anything here, there was hardly any real reason for people to come out of their way to come here.
It's kind
So-
of fair.
A lot of the people just started moving on to different parts of Johto. I'm sure that there are people who live here, but not nearly as many as there would be. People barely really consider this a town.
Do you think it's problematic that we base our society around combat sports?
No.
Okay.
A gym's more than just that, Keanu. It's more about trying to figure out how to deal with any sort of threats or any sort of things that happen with Pokemon, and how to make sure that any sort of people who train Pokemon understand how they feel and what they need. But also
that's
battling.
Maybe I should like not be so narrow-minded. Thanks, Kimo.
My family owns a gym. I know things.
But yeah, like you.
Raina's
could,
just like
make a
nodding in
little
the back.
soccer field.
Raina's just like nodding in the background because she's also worked for a gym. They both just like look to each
Work.
other. They both just look to each other. High five. I'm kidding.
Goes through the hand.
A secret gym high five. A
Like,
secret
you could make,
handshake.
like, a baseball field over there though, and you could have like a bunch of cabins and stuff, and there's a lake nearby, so you could throw people in it, and yeah, it'd be great.
Well, I mean, the lake is called the Lake of Rage. Would people really want to go and be around there all the time?
Yeah,
I
that's in
would!
dire
I
dire
would.
need.
I want to go.
You would, but I think that is in dire need of rebranding.
I want to go.
Hear me out.
Well,
The Great Maryland Lake.
that sounds great, Keanu.
That
but
sounds pretty cool.
I think that,
See, I'd go there.
I mean, we could go check the lake for now. Maybe get some of the Rage Candy Bar if it's still, if
You
the
wanna stop by
advertisements
the-
are to be believed.
Stop by the Pokemon Center and see.
There,
Let's see what's up.
there isn't a Pokemon Center here.
Oh. Well then, okay. I guess Lake of Rage it is then.
Oh, there it is.
I'm not even sure if there's a Pokemart here. I mean, I don't know. Again, once the gym closed down, a lot of things just kind of stopped here.
The
It
candy
isn't
guy
really
sells
it isn't
Pokemon
really
stuff.
an easy way to get to Blackthorn either. You have to go through the ice tunnels.
Yo, let's go there.
What?
It's like the most excited.
Maryland would love it there.
They're off to the east. That's how you get to Blackthorn. We're probably gonna go there if we're trying to find my sister.
Yo, Maryland, we're gonna go to a nice place.
Bubbles would love that place. He came from a nice place.
I love how
Might
just
not
like
be a
Keanu's like,
nice
wait, what?
There's ice.
Ice?
I like
Here?
that.
I like ice.
It might not be a nice
Keanu,
place, but it sure is a nice place.
Raina's like looking at you, Raina's just looking at you, just like,
You know, Sinnoh's really good too. They have ice everywhere. You don't have to be so impressed of this place.
I'm kidding.
There's an entire like town, and it's always snowing there.
I know it's so pretty.
Wait, no one told me about this. We should go there too.
It's right up
Maybe
beside.
end of the campaign stuff.
We should go to this candy place though, because they might have snow cones.
Definitely, I'd like to go and see it. Well, I guess we can look around. I think it's a general store.
Mhm.
She just kind of shrugged. She's like,
There's not a lot here. We should be able to find it pretty easily.
Alrighty then.
and you do.
Yay!
Thank you, kind passerby, for directing us to the only store.
Hey, you should check out this place, Keanu.
It's only
You
one
know,
building in
that's
town.
probably exactly what happened, but like at the same time, you don't
What's the
know
place
if
I
you
have
need it.
to try? Well, you have to try there because it's your only option.
This is like one of the tiniest fucking towns in like all of like the games, and I love it.
How they would never have found Team Rocket's thing here if it's here is beyond me.
It's supposed to be
man,
like
there's-
underground.
There's a whole lot of nothing here. That's why.
There's a whole lot of fuck all here. It's a good thing
Oh
we
yeah,
have
that
a
was
ghost.
that. We heard that was this town, right? That had like the underground thing in it.
Potentially. Do-do-do.
Well, it's a good thing we have a ghost.
Oh, Jamashimas.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's a Jotonian word.
I had to change something on this Nurse Joy.
Oh.
It's just joy. She still has the outfit though.
She didn't go to medical school.
She's
She's
just
cosplaying.
joy.
She's just happy.
You guys make your way to the only shop in town. As you guys get there, you see what appears to be a familiar-ish looking face outside of the shop. She is not wearing a nurse outfit. She's wearing some very cute casual clothes. Has a little name tag on them that says Joy.
Understood.
As she looks back to you guys, instead of like a hat there, like she has like one of those little head wraps kind of thing, you know, like little tied head bandana thingy.
Oh.
Yeah, she a cutie.
She's
Anyway,
training in the mountains.
That's my ninja way.
Believe
Don't talk about ninjas. What do you mean ninjas? There's no hidden village around here.
it.
Understood. Or
She comes in
Ninja Joy.
she comes in like, oh, Nurse Joy, no, sorry, you must be talking about my sisters, or my cousins, or my aunts, or my nieces,
Or my dad.
or that one uncle. But we're not supposed to talk about him anymore.
Now is
She's
it because he did something
Ninja.
bad, or are they a fucked up family?
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Do you still have a chance?
No, I don't have a chancey. I'm sorry
is this?
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, I'm not disappointed. I was just curious. I'm Keanu. I'm not from here.
Oh, hello, Keanu. Nice to meet you. She seems very much like fine with small talk because, you know, no one's here.
I haven't talked to anyone in the last 3 months.
You start leaving. It's like, no, please don't.
Just don't leave.
Nobody leaves.
Don't
Do you have snow cones?
leave. Snow. Yes, sure.
I will give you a
What
shiny
is
gem
a
for
snow
the
cone? I'm kidding.
If
She's
you have a
like-
cup, I can have Marilyn blowing it, and it'll be a snow cone.
She's just like, do you have snow cones? Sure. She goes to the back. She just goes to her freezer, scrapes a cup against the side of the freezer.
Perfect. Plain snow cones, my favorite flavor.
She just like opens up one of the small drink areas, just like cracks open like a soda and just pours it on it. Like, there you go. No. But no, she looks to you like, oh well, yeah, we could probably make something like that if you'd like.
I would love that. It's been like, I don't know how long. At least 5 weeks since I've had a snow cone.
Well, let me see what I can do. She goes inside as she does, just kind of like leaving you guys entirely to your own devices. Let's roll. Let's see how things go in there.
I believe in her.
You know what? She comes out. She has. She seems to be like holding this very kind of dusty machine as she plops it onto the side of the counter,
And she's like, "Oh, if you give me just a moment, let me clean it up a little bit. The
Okay.
containers aren't really anything that are dusty. Don't worry. But we haven't had a lot of had a lot of kids around in a while."
I get that. People should be here though. It's awesome. There's ice caves. There's a lake. There's a field over there. Raina's here.
There's so much grass.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Come for just that alone.
You just see Raina. She has this like some grass petals in her mouth, chewing on them. She's like, "I love grass." No. But eventually she gets the snow cone machine working, and she's able to make something similar to a snow cone. I will say, Keanu, she is not well versed in the snow cones, such as those in Alola with their college courses on snow cone making. But
Snow conology.
she did pretty well. She didn't really seem to have too much flavoring with her, but she did just kind of like get like a fruit drink out and just like pour it on it.
Like, here you go, on the house.
Yo, you're excellent.
I like making people happy. I will let you know though, like, I'm not able to give away everything for free, of course.
No, I get
Of
that.
course.
I was gonna give you this big shiny rock.
Like, there's no need. We have plenty of rocks here.
So, like we saw these signs. Yeah, that's true. There's lots of rocks. There's hopefully not that many in the fields. Otherwise, when people play soccer, they'll trip and they'll hurt their legs.
Oh, no one plays in the fields anymore.
They should though, because they're excellent.
So about the Rage Candy Bar.
There we go.
Oh, you want Rage candy bars? Oh, right.
Did they expire?
No,
'Cause that's, like,
maybe
Not a contentious issue with us.
She like goes over to like a box near the entrance and like kind of takes it out and pushes it out in front of her. You see, like, the box is rather hefty, rather big. But as she opens the box, you notice a thick layer of dust come off from the box as she opens it.
Been a while.
And you guys look inside to see what appears to be several stacks on stacks of chocolate bars inside that you probably wouldn't trust.
Yeah, what's
Not
the
popular?
expiration date on
as she
those?
goes, unfortunately, we haven't had any new shipments of these in quite a while. They used to
Really?
be made here. They used to be made here in Mahogany Town, but then people stopped.
This, do you get a
Yeah.
you how much business do you get usually?
Oh, we used to get a lot of business after, well, the scandals were happening, but and these here they used to be made here in the city somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where, to be honest, but it's
Oh, there
been
were
rather
scandals
hard to
before.
Scandals?
Yeah, the things you wear on your feet.
it's been rather hard to get people to come here whenever our famous candy bars are, well,
She kind of like takes one, wrapper and all, kind of taps it against the side of the counter as it just snaps.
Have you considered like moving and finding another job?
Oh, well, I couldn't do that.
You ever like melt a chocolate bar and then you freeze it to make it chocolate again, but then it sticks to the wrapping and you're like, oh, and then you try and eat it, but it's hard because it's frozen, so you just wait a while, but then it's kind of melted, but it's like the best you can get at this point because you've kind of failed yourself with your chocolate adventure.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
But no, I couldn't possibly leave here. There's so many people here who could need
Stuff.
things, general items.
Plus, it's excellent here.
How many people live here still?
Oh, well, plenty of people. I think that we still have around 24.
It's Mark and his wife Lucy and their kid Sean.
Oh, actually, it may be under 24 now. I believe that Yeah, I believe Stacy's kids grew out of it and moved to Goldenrod recently, and I believe she went with them.
Heard
So
a lot
probably-
about her mom.
Probably around 18 people, including me.
Oh wow.
You guys have seen more houses than that upon coming in here.
Like a small garage concert.
I
of
mean, the
people.
real estate market here is probably excellent.
Oh yeah, are you looking to buy a house? I could help with
am
that.
I am very poor.
She just actually goes and grabs like a fucking like a pair of glasses and what
She's a
appears to be
realtor.
a stack of like papers for like housing.
Are you a realtor?
I do basically everything here.
Is there? Are you the only one who-
This is the commercial zone.
Are any of you
town.
Are any of you wanting to become a gym leader?
No, I don't like fighting. I thought about it for like 4 seconds. No.
I'm still working
Very
on getting my gym badges.
If you become a gym leader, you could give yourself a badge.
I don't think that's how that works, Keanu.
Why not?
I mean, you haven't tried it.
Prove to me that it doesn't work like
Kimo,
that.
can you give yourself a badge if you were to go and take over the gym?
Well, I mean, you have those badges, so I don't know why not.
Bam.
They say the one's worst foe is themselves, so if you beat yourself, then maybe you can have a badge.
Well, that's great, because Varric beats himself all the time. No, like really, he keeps smashing his head in concrete and stuff.
It's a wonder he's still alive.
If there's anyone in the world that can beat you, Varric, it's definitely you.
Sherry is just like on
Right.
Sherry's just like on her tiptoes at the snow cone machine. It's like
Aw.
But
Well,
I
if-
would
if
very much
not-
consider it.
If none of you want any housing or to be the gym leader or anything like that, there's no problem. Don't worry about it.
she just puts the large stack of housing forms away.
Hmm.
You said you have general items here too?
Oh, well, a few.
Like what?
Do you need a toothbrush?
I think I'm covered.
We also have toiletries, shampoo, stale rage candy bars, soda.
Those all
I'll
sound
take one of those
actually
sodas.
excellent.
You say I'll take one of those sodas. She kind of like gives a bit of a sigh and a smile as she just kind of like walks over and hands you a soda, and she's just like, "Here you go, on the house," and just walks away.
I here. No, I'll here. I'll give you some. How much is a
Oh,
soda?
don't worry, we don't need it. I don't need anything.
Do you want a
but-
snow cone, Cherry?
Your job.
Well, we don't get a lot of people around, so I'm enjoying the conversation. To be fair.
As you got
okay.
a soda. Let me get you the soda item.
Guys, I don't
Okay.
know. These toothbrushes look pretty sick.
Are those supposed to be? No, these are sodas. Yeah. Here you go. She just hands you a soda.
Dental hygiene
Nice,
is a must.
What's up with the stale candy bars? I want to look at them.
You look at the stale rage candy bars. As you look at the ones in the box, they all appear to have a bit of discoloration on them. You notice how again chocolate gets kind of like chalky and white and stuff as it ages. Very brittle. It seems like these have been here for a good couple of months.
It's gonna be pretty much be used for baking.
Mhm.
How much?
You want those?
I'm completely sure. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to sell these to people.
I'm a chef.
What's your offer?
Are you
Hey,
sure, April? Are you you sure
Any of
about
these-
this?
What was that?
Yeah, I'm kidding for that.
She basically is just saying make your offer if you want the box of chocolate.
Okay. Goth coins am I willing to pay for?
I say try going for one goth coin. Just one.
One
She probably wouldn't accept that. I will say that right now. For a box of chocolate that is not very good, that she has to risk like people learning about and finding out that she sold this to someone.
coins.
You show her the goth coins as she looks at them. She's just like,
I mean, if you really want them.
Sure about it. I'm very sure about it.
Joker, look.
pushes the box towards you. Cyan Gemini just donated $60 and says to the Rage Bar box.
Does that then go to April, I'm assuming? Or...
That is to the Rage Bar box. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe you understand.
The rage bar boasts out extra
I have to try one of those chocolate bars, given the Eldritch Spirit that controls me was given one by the Eldritch Spirit that runs another universe.
I don't have a token for it yet because I didn't think someone was gonna try to buy them. But I
More
will.
Oh boy.
I
Just
will.
make
I
them
will
like
take.
gray yum
I will
bars.
take this yum here, and I will do that. I guess.
Thank you. I
And
hand them over.
and box
Want
You know what?
of rage candy.
You know what? You pick up one of the candy bars. Its
So-
packaging peels off. Just find a
within
gum bar.
within the box there is that many.
Okay, we're eating tonight.
If we're gonna have one.
That is your box of rage candy bars right there.
One quart back.
Congratulations.
I will. I
Put
will.
it in the- She put it in your bag.
I will say for you to carry these around, you will probably have to use a Pokeball to get the box.
I will use a Pokeball to get the box.
Good job. I'm just gonna say this is box of rage
I can duplicate Ducky.
candy.
Or I can take Ducky out of her Pokeball and
Don't
you can
forget
There-
to give it
there
a
you
plus
go.
one.
Ox of Rage
There you
Candy.
go. It's an ox of rage candy. Oh,
Don't
fine.
forget plus
I'll
one.
do the fucking plus one. Perfect. Because it would be hard for you to carry that around without doing that.
Basically, you just got a Pokeball to put a box of.
Like I said early in the campaign, like people probably use this technology for a lot of things. Why do you think when you travel around the Pokemon world, you randomly find Pokeballs on the ground that have items in them?
You're right. You're right. I can't wait for me to lose this ball. And for someone
Thank
to
you
find,
very
like,
much, Cyan. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with that, but we'll figure it out by next game, probably.
They're just like extra stale.
So, I remember that Sherry was all jumping up wanting to get one of the snow cones.
It's very simple to do. You were able to help with snow cone duty.
Hell yeah.
As Sherry is standing there waiting for the snow cone, and Joy is just kind of like looking off to you guys.
So, if you're not here for housing and you're not here to become the gym leader, and why are you here?
Well, we were
But I know
passing
I want
You
through
have
the
you
block
have
wall.
enough Pokemon trainers probably among you to take over the town if that's what you want.
I couldn't stop you.
I couldn't
No.
and wouldn't.
No, we're not really interested in that at the moment.
We don't even have an Officer Jenny here.
Where'd you get your vitamin C from?
I get it.
Vitamin crime.
So,
So,
what is it you're here for?
well, we were passing through to get to Blackthorn, so we decided to stop. Because we'd heard a little bit about the town.
Oh,
You see a girl like this tall, white hair, if I remember right. Kimo, help me.
You explain a girl with white hair. She's like, "Oh yes, not many people come through this town."
Yeah. I'm looking for
oh,
her.
you mean the last time we had a visitor?
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. I believe she was
Talk to
going
you
up
very
toward
much.
the Lake of Rage. I had spoken with her when she went up, but by the time she was leaving off toward Blackthorn, I hadn't said anything to her.
Oh.
She left toward Blackthorn around 3 weeks ago. Probably closer to 3 weeks and 3 weeks and 2 days. I believe it was somewhere around 6:30 at night.
Oddly specific.
Well, I thought it was odd that she was wanting to leave at 6:30 at night to go into a cave, but I guess it doesn't matter what time you go into a cave.
I thought it was
Dark is
weird that
dark.
she came here.
Oh,
I fucking love this town.
town is dead.
There is literally nothing to do here in any of the games.
So, like, what do you do for fun?
I have a television.
Nice, nice. I do that too. Well, not recently because of all the.
I call my
Adventure.
sisters. I sometimes go to the lake and put my feet in the water, but I don't do that a lot because if I don't, then I who's gonna watch over the store?
Yep, that's true.
So I mostly watch over the store. I would hire someone to watch over the store for me, but well, there's no one. Sometimes I get jealous of Jenny. She has a nice career here in town.
What does she do?
And she cuts grass.
Oh,
Oh, she's not an officer.
Oh no, we don't have any police officers here.
A shooter.
You know, here's a shot in the dark. Have there been any odd people coming in besides us?
Odd
recently?
people. There was a boy that went by with an animal tail.
oh, well, that's weird.
He didn't really
I mean,
say anything,
really,
but
I
whenever I
guess.
asked him where he was going, he pointed off toward Mount Silver.
Ah, okay. But nobody else other than that?
You meet a guy who's like this tall, wears a mask, has Rattata in the top percentage.
I don't think so, no. I believe I remember somebody like that.
Figured he might have got exploded.
There
in
was
this
this
direct-
boy who fell from the sky last night with red hair saying Lee. I'm kidding.
That's where we got the rocks that we already had.
We killed him, you see.
We harvested the rocks from his body. No. She just kind of is like standing there. Do you guys have any other questions for her? Do you guys have any other things you'd like to try to buy? Any
have a
questions about the
hammock?
town? Huh?
Do you have a hammock?
A hammock?
Uh-huh.
I could check.
She goes back in the thing. This is a general store, so again, like last time, I'm just gonna roll, and if it gets high enough, sure. This is a 14. She comes back and she's like, by the way, what's a hammock?
It's It's like a net that's attached to two things that you attach to like a tree or poles, and then you
Oh, okay.
sleep
I
in
think
it.
I understand.
She goes back inside. As she does, she comes back out. She seems to bring a large net and a length of rope.
You know what? Take it, Keanu.
Yeah, it's good.
She's just like she just has like this happy aura about her. Like, I did it. I found it for you. This is the most successful business day of my life.
Hooray. So,
That will
this
be
guy-
500 Poké Dollars, please.
There you go.
As Keanu, if you ever decide to camp out again, we can say you can attempt to attach a hammock to your trees. If you do so and you manage to sleep through the night, I may give you a bonus.
ooh.
Hammocks are like the only way to sleep, yo.
She just seems very happy with doing what she did. Because it's a net and a length of rope, you can easily fit that in your bag. Like, it's not anything like several tens of pounds of chocolate.
Yes.
Does anybody else
So,
have any questions about things to ask her about the town or the lake, or
Yeah.
anything else to ask her for, like, to see if she has?
I would like to know more about the town, because you mentioned the scandal.
Oh, you don't know about it?
I've heard some things about it, but I mean,
Oh, that's
you're
wonderful.
local.
It was the Team Rocket
Yeah.
thing, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you've heard of us.
Yeah, we've heard of it. I'd just like to know more about it from, I guess, a first-hand source if you were here around when it was happening.
Back then, I wasn't really here for it. I was still a small girl at the time. My aunt Joy might have been more helpful about that, but I'm not entirely sure where she is right now. It's really hard to keep track of where everyone is and get it accurate to who it is, because then you just call them and you're like, "Hi, Joy," and they answer "Hi," and you just have to hope you're talking to the right person. Anyway.
Gosh, your family is so huge, and it's just so odd.
They're wonderful.
I'm glad you have a nice family.
Anyway,
I was
so back then there was a big uproar with this evil group of people, kind of like mobsters or gangsters, known as Team Rocket. Back then, apparently, they say that there was they had crafted a base here, somewhere in town, and was able to perform many deeds throughout all of Johto, by using this base, down toward Goldenrod and Ecruteak and all over, even stretching out as far as Olivine. These people of Team Rocket were mostly a Cantonian group, but they did spread themselves out pretty thin. They even say that they had a special plan for this town. It's kind of where the Lake of Rage gets its name, I believe.
Huh.
Well, you see, back then, a lot of Pokemon were going kind of, well, a bit batty, you see. They were acting very aggressive and, well, I can't really remember too much about it other than what happened to me personally, but around the time that everyone was off toward the Lake of Rage and my aunts and my mother were making their way there to help out anyone they could, well, that was the time that I got this.
She seems to like raise up a part of her sleeve and shows you guys what appears to be a scar along her upper arm.
Oh.
Aw.
Around that time, I was attacked by a group of Sparrow.
Oh.
Rough.
I don't really understand much about it, but they seemed to fall from the sky, and they were very confused and aggressive. I was able to run into this general store here and hide myself in a box.
I see you're very flexible.
I was very small.
And very small.
Huh, that's... That's kind of what happened to us earlier.
Hmm?
Well, earlier, one of our Pokemon that we were using to get across the river was suddenly started freaking out. And I even saw like a flock of birds off in the distance just scatter and fall. It was
Huh.
the weirdest thing.
I've never heard of it affecting any water type Pokemon.
It was a big
She's a
bird.
grass type
A grass
and
type?
fly type.
A Tropius.
Oh, so it was it was flying.
You want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Maybe
I'll
not
be-
in the store, Keanu.
No, not in the store. Outside the store.
oddly enough, people were trying to figure out what was going on around that time, and they weren't able to find out much, except that it seemed to be something that affected Pokemon with rather strong hearing, or mostly those that are flying or electric type.
Oh. That makes sense.
Huh.
Have you had
Has-
any like problems with that recently here?
Not recently. Again, there's not really anyone here. Most flying Pokemon don't really come to this town hardly any longer, and they basically avoid this place when they're flocking, heading over toward Ecruteak or Blackthorn or things like that. If they do stay here, it's mostly out of just exhaustion, I believe. But no, there's not really been too many attacks or anything like that. Eventually, people just sort of couldn't find anything, and
She just kind of shrugs.
Huh.
Well, that's interesting.
really,
Oh yeah, just
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
She
Yeah, and
looks
after all that and
excited
the-
as she just kind of like has like again that sort of like accomplished look on her face and that aura of happiness around her. Like, I did a thing.
yeah.
So they really never found any hidden room or anything in any of the houses, or did they not even look everywhere?
hidden room.
I mean, I assume, like if they hid a base underground in the town, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, if there was anything like that, I would probably have been too young to ever really know about it. When it comes to hidden rooms, I don't know anything like that in any of the houses around here, and no one's really ever asked or anything. There are basements, I believe, in some of the houses. I don't really know. I only know about the one that I grew up in. There's a cellar here in the general store, but no one can really do much in there. There's this large door there that no one has the key to any longer.
really?
Is it like a metal door or like a wooden door or?
Oh, it seems to be made of metal, and it has this peculiar little keypad outside of it.
Huh.
Ha!
Looks to Varric.
So that sounds like the oddest thing in the world. Can we go look at it, please?
Oh, you want to go look at it?
I mean, yeah, that's just nobody has a key for it. It's just a weird door.
I've been
yeah.
mostly using the place down there for storage for a while. We might have to move some things around, but it was actually really interesting. The day that I had got attacked was the day that I found that place when I was trying to hide from the Sparrow.
Oh.
Maybe it's a bit of fate.
Maybe.
Hey.
I feel like we're very much on the same wavelength right now, Varric.
La la la
Oh,
la la
yeah.
la.
Hey, Raina.
Did you know that the
No.
thieves?
Oh yeah, fuck. I didn't even think about that.
I'm sorry that I said secret room, but I mean it's like It's a logical assumption to think about for a hidden base in the town.
I mean, we knew it was underground, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not think about Reyna.
Hooray for a get the jail free card!
Reyna
I'm
has
still
come in
gonna
clutch so many-
say what I was gonna say, like when we get to this point, but because I want to tell you how things could have happened. But yeah, let's get going. You guys walk into the general store a little bit as you notice that again things seem rather clumped up here. Most of the items that she seems to have are all boxed up and nothing's really put in any sort of order around here. Mostly because again people just kind of come in and ask her for random shit. So she's like, I don't know, let me check all my boxes. As she motions you guys to what appears to be a wall, you guys think of go what's going on there, and she's like, oh right, and then she just kind of like pushes some of she just kind of like brings her hand down to where a rug is and just kind of like lifts up, and as she lifts up there are stairs leading down to the cellar of this area, totally a cellar and not any sort of hidden path or anything.
Cellar, don't worry about it.
Great cellar.
And if anybody would have ever asked her whenever she was young about this cellar to have somebody help like figure out anything, maybe they would have found the rocket base in time to stop Team Rocket. Who's to say? Anyway.
Wow! Ding 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 ding! We have a winner.
Said some 10-year-old fuck had to come along and fix the problem for them.
That didn't happen in this world. There was no 10-year-old fuck that came by and fixed the problem for them. And there was no Dragon Master who figured out the problem.
Oh.
Now there's only 4 to 5 ambiguous year olds.
As she lifts up the doorway, she props it up against the wall and starts kind of like walking down. You notice this place is not very dusty down here because she probably keeps most of the valuables and things down here of the place, such as whatever the fuck anything of these in these boxes are. Who's to say? Maybe you guys could ask for things and I'll say that they're here or not. Anywho, as she kind of motions towards some of the boxes, she shows definitely that she would need help moving some of them, trying to get in through these places. Very easily though, you guys can move these with the help of like Shooter or potentially asking Hero to do it or things of that nature. So let's not even worry about that because we're already getting pretty close to time.
Hooray!
So through using your Pokemon to move some boxes out of the way of places, you see standing in front of you, even though this place is very much made of stone and wood and things like that, a very pristine, very, very almost like white metal door that has like a split down the center of it, like almost like an elevator door. As you look on the outside of it, there is apparently a very dim but still legible glowing keypad. As you look at it, beneath the keypad seems to be like there seems to be a small note that is there, seemingly etched into the wall beside of it. And etched into the wall, it seems to say the Cottage of Rage.
5701.
So when it says the Cottage of Rage, this would have led you to this small little house over at the Lake of Rage, you see.
Oh. Oh.
Circumventing that plot point. Here we go.
Now you fucked up.
This
However-
is why Rena is the best.
However,
Well,
The
instead
house
of
is really pretty.
instead of any of that, Reyna just like in front of Joy just kind of like walks through the door. At
Yep,
which
she does that.
point Joy's just like, "Oh my."
Yep,
Was it
she actually
does that.
5701? Oh yeah, she's a ghost.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'm learning a lot about you all.
Yeah. Hey, complete shot in the dark since you got like your valuables down here. Do you happen to have silk scarves?
Any
'Cause
silk
I'm not
scarves?
remembering it.
Sure, let me see if I have anything like that on this roll.
Sorry, I just remembered I've been looking for those.
Oh, it almost was a 1.
It was almost a 1!
No, in fact, get out.
My father was killed by a silk scarf.
Oh no.
No,
Prepare to
but
die.
no, but she does kind of like go through some of the things down here. As she does, she seems to pull out a very similar scarf to the one that Tressa used to have. As she does, Tressa's eyes widen and she just starts bouncing.
Yes. Yes.
As she looks to you, this is a rather expensive item, though. I can tell because it's in the expensive item box. She points to the
That's
box.
fair.
There's a set of duct tape holding a piece of paper on it, and on the paper it says expensive.
That's fair. How much are they?
I believe things in this box are 2,000 Pokédollars.
All right.
Because
many
usually
skill-
these things would give you some sort of benefit for your Pokemon, but in this case it doesn't because of the way your Baneri is. But I'm sure you'll pay it
Yep.
because it's your pet. So give me the money. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna because this is just how I am. I want to buy 2.
You want to buy 2 silk scarves?
Can I try to get her let me pay half for one?
Well, I mean, you are very business sense with things like this. So go ahead and roll me a charisma to see if you can.
Yes, I'm using 3 for this.
It's like you just look to her. Can I speak to your manager? She goes, ho, ho, ho.
15.
I am the manager.
And then like the
Fif-
door opens, like a
First
bunch
one's
of students start walking around as
15.
she-
Let's do this. That's a 2.
Oh my wa
Third one
Moshinderu.
That's a 10, and then the final one. If it's over 15, I'll be so happy. But it's not. So 15. So yeah, 20.
You're wanting to buy 2? I could maybe take 500 Pokédollars off.
All right, I'm fine with that.
There you go.
Altogether,
Give me 7 of those. You give me 7 of those coins. I need those coins.
All right, here we go. Here's 7 of these
Give me
coins.
those
You
coins.
fuck.
All right, so where's your silk scarf even at?
It's over here in all this mess.
And all what?
Right
mess?
here. All this mess over here of all my items that got stolen
Ah, okay.
that we're probably gonna be giving to fucking Francis later on.
Here you go.
Hooray! 2 silk scarves. Here you go, Tressa. And I help her tie it to her.
She
and make her
takes
all
both of them.
One's for Duke.
She takes both of them.
One's for Duke, Tressa.
She doesn't care. I'm kidding.
It's so that you two can match.
While that's going on, you guys hear just a clicking sound on the other side as Reyna just kind of like pushes buttons until the door opens.
What is it, 5701?
I believe it was this one that says Upine.
Oh, okay. Must be like French or something.
Must be Colossian.
I've never seen the door open before. This is exciting.
Yeah. You know, this is very weird. I wonder if it had something to do with Team Rocket.
Oh.
I say completely sarcastically as I go in.
Oh, maybe it did.
She starts walking in the door. Do you guys stop her from going in?
Nope, at this point, this is all for her. She gets to have this.
She's been working here for years and years. She deserves to see this.
And she starts
And
laughing
probably
again.
die.
Tears off her own
she would've
face, revealing that she's in fact Giovanni.
We're having a lot of Pokemon here. I'm gonna go ahead and put mine put some of mine away.
He just has severe memory loss and couldn't remember the entrance code.
Go.
So I will say, this is an elevator that will not fit all of these fucking Pokemon.
That's just...
All of mine are on me, so I'm good.
They are not on you. They take up their own space because you cannot
Sorry,
carry all 4 of these.
I can carry some of them.
You cannot.
Technically, Shiva
I
can
will
just
let you
hover
carry
above.
1. But a lot of Pokemon need to go inside their balls right now.
This just feels ridiculous. I don't understand what the issue is.
Sorry,
Oh.
Bulbasaur. Sorry, Hero.
You know, Blue, I just want to apologize that you gave us a ghost. Go through
No,
all-
100%. You guys, if you remembered it and I didn't. That's perfectly fine with me.
Oh, this is great. And also because I asked about it, we know that currently no weird people are in town. That's great.
So should we go to that cabin later though? Because I don't know why, but I feel like it's probably really pretty.
You know, sure.
I have the deed to it here if you'd like to purchase it.
I'll give you this shiny rock for it.
Houses.
You know, normally I would say no, but if it gets people to live here, more than sure. I'm kidding.
All right, 2 shiny rocks. And that's as high as I'll go. Not because I won't go higher, but because I can't.
Okay, so, some more Pokemon need to go.
Go away, you two. I'm with my babies.
I'm going to assume
Oh.
that Colonel
Oh, yeah.
is small enough.
I just forgot.
I will
because he didn't
assume
have
that
color.
he's small enough.
I didn't mean to leave him
There
out,
we
but
go.
sure.
There we go. Everybody box yourselves up. There we go. I will let you guys know that currently you guys are probably over max capacity for this elevator. That is
Oh, I
that
can
is
wait.
That is
Here,
an
you
old
guys
that is
go
an
down
old
and I'll
elevator that you're not entirely sure is working amazingly properly because it doesn't seem to have a ton of electricity put onto it. So going down altogether is probably the best idea.
Yes.
So-
No.
Let's go.
Let's take it a couple at a time.
Yeah, you
No.
guys go.
Like I said,
No.
you guys notice that if you are going to go on this thing, and this is me telling you guys this both in and out of character, it's probably best for you guys to all go down because there's not a lot of electricity on this thing. Meaning that you're not sure if it will go back up very easily once it goes down.
Okay, I got you.
Oh boy.
I am picking up what you're putting down.
Have you guys seen the Goonies?
That's
I pushed the
We just
button.
Have Patchy rub his cheeks on it till it works again.
You guys seen the Goonies? I pushed the button.
Basically, well,
I'm just
She's
letting you.
off.
I'm just letting you guys know that you are probably at capacity, just in case if you guys ever have to rush your way back to this thing in any sort of capacity,
Panic.
any sort of panic or anything like that. You know how many Pokemon probably need to either be sacrificed to whatever doom is there or put away in their Pokeballs.
talking about it's an abandoned. It's an
Poor old
abandoned
guy with face.
base. What do you mean? We
I
already
will
know
say-
no weird people.
I
are
will
in
say, like,
town.
the worst thing about all of this is, like, if you guys would have tried to do the same thing, except instead of Reina with Chemo, it wouldn't have worked for Chemo.
It's
Mhm.
got psychic shielding.
Chemo would not have been able to teleport through it.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Not really.
Maybe
But
psychic
who knows?
shielding.
it's the DM's choice, and I say it makes sense because the DM said so.
You guys
No.
make your way slowly down this elevator. As you guys do, you notice that as the elevator is going down, the lights are flickering in it. It seems to be very much going down at at a very strangely slow pace, sometimes even being jittery a bit. As you guys get further and further down, however, the lights begin to get brighter, almost like it's getting a little bit more electricity as it's going down, until you get to the very bottom of the elevator, where it seems to stop, and all the lights seem to immediately go off. As you guys are trying to figure out what to do, Reyna ends up going through the elevator door once again and getting to the other side. Upon getting to the other side, she fiddles around with the outside a little bit. You guys hear a wrenching sound as you see the doors begin to open. Reyna standing on the other side where like this lever seems to be that pries it open. You guys appear to be in a very different place.
Oh gosh.
Chemo, stop touching me there.
It's a spaceship.
It's
guys
only just now occurring to me what we've done in taking Joy with us.
What's up, man?
Hey, man.
Suffering Subnautica,
You know.
bad man.
We've already got people to protect. We got the little girl. Who? What's it matter if some Joy out in the middle of nowhere comes with?
She's an adult. She can make her
If a
own.
joy dies and no one hears, so does it make a sound?
There we go. As you guys step out from where you are, what are you fucking making over here?
That's just the drawing. You just see the eyes of a giant Joy through the window.
Chemo, stop touching me there.
You guys step out into a very large, very, very different hall, completely made of metal and glass, with ultraviolet lights along not only the ceiling but also different parts of the walls and floor. You see plastered all around some very stylistic red R's along the place, and from what you guys can tell upon stepping in here, a thin layer of dust seems to coat a couple of things off to the side, including, as you make your way over toward the edges where you guys see the fantastic Joy picture here, these sort of screens or windows that seem to be overlooking something. From what you guys can tell, no one's been here for quite a while, which would probably mean Team Break is not here.
Or they suck
Yeah.
at cleaning.
Would probably mean that.
Biggie Smalls bubbles.
I mean, I already confirmed that Nurse Joy didn't see anybody coming to town recently.
What if they're ninjas?
Oh, except for all those people with the giant Pokemon. I'm kidding.
The police officers with their giant Pokemon and guns all the time.
There was one
With a big
officer, Jenny,
flag
that came
saying
by,
kill.
and Jenny was talking to her, and then afterwards she said, "Oh, that's the bad Jenny from the wrong side of the tracks." And I'm like, I hear that. I hear that there's probably a bad Joy somewhere. Like my uncle that we're not supposed to call uncle anymore. I'm kidding.
Well, let's explore, because why the heck you come down to a spooky secret base if we don't explore? Is that water on the other side of this?
There does not appear to be water. It appears to be a screen, a very dark window pane, seemingly maybe even tinted, that seems to be overlooking another room, but it is far too dark for you to see. You see what appears to be looking through there, though. Like, there is some lights as far as you can see through the panes, and there are some sparks of electricity somewhat around.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, when you get this place fixed up, let's make a great gym.
You're not wrong.
Put some seats up here. You could look down into wherever the heck's in there.
I wonder who owns this place. I mean, I
You
own
do.
I own the building above it, so.
Dark.
Well, judging by the
Dark.
stylistic red R's everywhere, I mean, I assume this is in fact the secret rocket base under town.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
we
it's
can
on her
make them.
property.
We can make them Jays.
Yeah. Everything here belongs to Joy, I guess.
we
Anyway,
can make them Jays.
It's like
This place
Antique
working over, a
Roadshow.
nice coat of paint.
Yeah. Surprised you never noticed that, like, people were coming out of your basement.
Oh, this wasn't my basement at the time.
Oh, there you go.
It was sort of weird whenever I was hiding from the Spiro, though. I didn't notice that I was running into a cellar, and whenever I had gotten my way out, it was just because there were people that were around who shut the door behind me. I was inside that barrel for around, I believe, 7 hours.
I would have fell asleep.
I believe I probably might have drifted off a little bit. I don't know.
Huh.
I was conscious for around 7 hours and 27 minutes, though.
Counted?
Yeah, I mean, what else you gonna do? Anyways, I'm gonna go this way.
You
I'm
guys,
head off with you.
you guys begin making your way through
Biggie.
this place. Do you guys want to all stick together?
Yeah, I'd
I
like
mean,
to
we
stick
probably
together.
should. Does it look like there are any like control panels around?
In this room, other than the controls for the actual for the elevator, no. There is a way off to the left and a way off to the right. Or you could
Which way do you
smash
wanna
or you
go
can
first,
smash the
gang?
windows here and just fucking repel yourself down into the into the bottom.
I mean, Keanu's going this way.
I
better-
say we stick together.
as good as any other way.
I yote myself and I can't find Biggie again.
You can't
Can't
find
find what?
Biggie.
Hang on, it's
Oh.
in here.
Oh, wait, you're hiding behind the money.
Wait.
There you go.
Okay.
Stop running away, you weird baby.
Stop flying in random directions and then stopping all of a sudden.
No.
So everybody seems to be somewhat on the same page of sticking together, right?
Yeah.
Just so people know, like, Sherry's eyes are just wide as she's looking around everything like, I want to claim this place.
Don't worry, Sherry. We will one day.
I want it now.
Please don't run off.
As
We
you
need
guys
to savor this experience all together.
as you guys make your way off toward the left area. Upon stepping into this area, you notice that you seem to be at a place that has a very long hallway filled with checkered floors. Along these checkered floors, some of them seem to be leaking some sort of gas or mist upwards from them.
Oh no, not again.
As you guys look forward to these, and I'm guessing Keanu steps forward into the room,
Yep.
you see that the lights begin to somewhat dim. It begins hard to discern the patterns along the floor as checkers or anything of the sort, especially through the smoke. And as soon as you step into the room, Keanu, some of the things on the floor begin to open. And as they do, that is not what that is. Oh. I guess I didn't copy it.
Oh.
Copy. There we go.
Sounded like you copied something.
There it is.
It yoked itself at Keanu.
How come it's not coming out? They're just falling off the edge.
Why?
I don't know. They're just deciding not to be here
Falling
anymore.
Left of you, yeah.
I don't get it. Okay. I will do this then. I will go on this side. Where are they going?
Ugh.
They're just flying off in random directions. Assume there's more. Assume there are more of these. As you see what appears to be
orb-like Pokemon rising up from the ground. You guys recognize these Pokemon from a distance as they begin to be covered up by that smoke-like area. You guys hear a very mechanical Voltorb coming from deep into the room. As these rise up, you hear from far off as one of them gets surprised, an explosion happen.
Oh no.
As you guys look forward, you guys notice.
Evelyn?
You guys
Did I
notice
he-
upon
did,
stepping.
Did I hear anything different than Voltorb, or did they just say Voltorb? to
You
me?
guys notice upon stepping through, these things show up, and the doors behind you guys sealing. To be continued.
Point of clarification.
Yes, the
Did
last
it give
episode.
time for everyone to walk through, or is Keanu just like,
It was you walking in. It was you walking on like into the checkered area. So
Okay.
everyone else was already kind of in there, but it was you getting closer to the checkered area that started it.
bam?
How the fuck are these Voltorb even alive at this point?
Because they're Voltorb and they don't need to eat.
What the
They
There's
only
electricity
scream or
down here.
something.
They just chill and get electrocuted, and they're like, my life is great.
So what did Evelyn hear? You'll see. Potentially, maybe. I don't know if you guys ever fucking go to the Lake of Rage now. There's
Well, I think they meant
there's no need to go. There's no need to go to the Lake of Rage anymore. But hey, whatever.
I think they might have meant from the Voltorbs.
Nothing. They're Voltorbs.
I just heard them say Voltorb.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like fucking Bibarel.
Most of the more artificially Pokemon like this don't really speak.
I'd love to hear what a polygon has to say.
011001001.
Wait a minute, I can decipher this.
I'm a digital science actress.
I
I have also skill of deciphering binary
You
I
guys now
also
die.
have the internet.
on my watch.
Anyway, he
Yep.
said now die.
It's an Apple
so, I
Watch.
mean,
Well, this is it for me and the babies.
Hey man, you might be fine. You just gotta not set off the Voltorb. You're fine. Or find a
Babies,
way back into the freaking door.
Raina! Raina!
You're right. I could yeet myself through the door. Oh, there's no way they let you guys out from back here.
Well, sucks to suck.
I hope you guys
Well,
are
we
okay.
tried.
There's no reason for me to be in there right now.
Aside from the fact you're a Pokemon and can help.
Goodbye.
I'm trapped away from here.
It's like, besides the fact that you are an evolved Pokemon and could definitely help us with these things.
Aside from the fact you're
Campaign.
What was
we
that?
could all just cover our ears and you can just sing a little ditty for
Oh,
them.
goodbye, FOMO. There's some things.
Oh, goodbye.
There's some things that need to be said at some point, but I'll talk to you about them later.
Oh wait, I was just making a joke about the mystery bus.
Oh, I thought you were actually leaving.
Oh.
But here,
We're running time.
at this point, we are going to be heading things off, guys. I have to talk to these guys about something in just a moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We enjoyed our side. If any questions, comments, points, or wisecracks, put them in the comments below. We'll see how our boyos handle the rocket base in the next game. I thought this wasn't going to happen for like another game or so, but hey, whatever, man.
Look, we're speed
You
running
seem to
it.
forget that Reina is like the problem
I do.
solver.
Here's
a
the
lot.
thing: Reina didn't exist when I came up with most of the shit for these games.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting someone to fuck a ghost.
Your
Was that-
Halloween
That was the
special
perfect-
fucked you over.
The
big
Halloween
time.
special, man, has just ruined the year of fucking. Anyway, until next time, guys. Like always, later days.
Goodbye.
It just means you can make the enemies even harder.
Exactly.
Aye, aye.